Hey, hello, good morning. Sridham here. Fantastic. Good to have you all. Hope I'm audible, visible. Things are good. All right, check out your mic is working good. Your mic is enabled. All right, great. Thanks all for being here. This is the second day for PMI-ACP sessions in the month of January 2022. This is the first batch for this year, and we have kickstarted our Agile learning. So we will do a little more deep dive today. Yesterday, we kickstarted with some basics. What is ACP? What is an Agile? And some basic concepts in Agile background. We saw that. So today, we should go a little more deeper, where we have to talk about 4 values, 12 principles, and getting into Scrum methodology, which is one of the learning in PMI-ACP. Right? That's going to happen. And for your information, PMI-ACP is one of the top-rated certificate in the market for the Agile learning. So Sriram, do I need to stop with ACP? I would say no. Learn ACP, then go for other Agile certifications also, because each certification has its own advantage. So look at which is good for you and choose. If you're at a higher level, choose ACP completion earlier, and then choose something for the scaled Agile. If you're at the Scrum Master level, look for something specific on the Scrum Masters. Those certificates also available. Point here is keep learning more on this area, because the next few years, you will see more happening in the Agile environment. So good morning and good evening to people around here. Let's kickstart. I also have people around other channels like YouTube, LinkedIn. I appreciate everyone being here. Thanks for your time. Quickly, what I do is I look out and get ready with, all right, all set. Okay, let's kickstart. Just confirm everything is good, audio, video, so that I can share the screen and kickstart. All good, fantastic. Thanks for confirming. Can I assume that you all got a communication board access and everything is good for you? All right, it's good. Okay, thanks for confirming. All right, so now you should be able to see the screen shared and everything is good. Okay, fantastic. So now the communication board has a good amount of content to go through, even including the material. And I would appreciate the people who did some writing habits yesterday. Some of the writing things are repeated from the PMP. Some of you new to here after not doing PMP. So you may be seeing that these content are useful for you. So keep up the writing habits as a regular habit. Do it on a daily basis for some time until you get a hold of the content. Once you feel comfortable, you can write without even seeing that. You can remember things. You can stop that. It's not a everyday thing until the examination. So what we saw yesterday, we learned there are 7 domains in ACP. In this, the first 2 domains are a little bigger, which talks about the principles, mindset, and delivery, value delivery. This is a little bigger one, which can consume 2 to 3 weeks of time. So rest all could be of a subject which covers going forward. All right, let's go a little more deeper. What I did is I started explaining something under the domain 1. Even before that, we were setting a lot of ground activities. So we spent some time on understanding the mindset, what is in Agile. And then we saw something about 4 values, 12 principles, and how this Agile methodologies or framework are in the market. We have learned it. And now we have a deep dive inside what is this 4 values and 12 principles. And later we have to go one by one, like Scrum, Kanban, extreme programming. We have to spend time. These all covered in the first chapter. If you want to read really well for the examination, Mike Griffith's book, the book for PMI-ACP exam, covers this content in the first chapter, which is really useful. Let me go deeper. So I gave a clue there to domain 1, which is given a content outline. Shriram, what is this content outline? If some of you new here to the PMI Institute, Project Management Institute, whenever they plan for the examination, they don't go by the books. Rather, they give an outline like this. What you see here, the screen is called outline. Outline means these are the areas we expect you to possess knowledge in order to call you as a certified professional. I think it's a very decent way PMI has done it. comparing to other institutions where just ask the questions from the book. Here they don't do that. They give a topic. They tell you, you may or you should have knowledge in this area. So how to gather this knowledge? Either your practical knowledge, very good, or you can read any websites, very good. Read any book in the world. They don't bother that which book you read, where you get. But are you possessing this knowledge? I feel that's a very good way of PMI Institute handling it. So what is happening here is we don't get into one book and stuck there. You can read anywhere. This is good idea, specifically people like some of me who are from India based education system from school days. We are stuck only with the book. One book given, you will read only that, nothing more than that. But here outline helps you to go a little broader, read more. However it is, for the exam, my Griffith book and Agile practice guide, these two are a very decent way of learning. Apart from that, you're going to listen theoretically in the classes. Some examples I'm going to show you, and we're going to do some workshop as well. When you do all this thing, combined way, you get the knowledge. You may be already working in Agile, non-Agile, that's fine. You'll get the information. Okay, that's a kickstart. So great Sunday. How many of you feel the Sunday is super good? Amazingly great. First time after long years, Sunday morning, early hours you woke up. Anyone here? All right, Rakesh says, oop, right? Sundays usually we don't wake up early, but this class made you to wake up. There are you Saturday night, some of you sitting late in America. Who's that? Anyone here from US sitting late? Saturday night? Right, okay. Okay, it's okay. In my home, Saturday, Sunday are used like this. They know that Saturday means from morning 5 o'clock, all the lights will be on, mic will be on, this guy will keep on talking. Till the Sunday night 11 or 11:30 will be on. So my home is made sure Saturday, Sunday means pretty busy. So what will happen Monday to Friday, Sriram? It's a different form of busy, maybe office work, but won't start this early. Maybe 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock it starts. But Saturday, Sunday is a very busy day. I have to wake up early, go for my running, do some exercise, come back and kick it. Sriram, do we need to be very disciplined? If you ask me, if you really have something to achieve in life, yes, discipline is very important. How disciplined it is, how much you want to achieve. There is a story that a person want to buy something, a land or a property. This guy got down on a land and tell you run as much as you can, all the land and properties for you. So this guy started running whole day. When the sun set, he fell down and dead on the floor itself. Too much is also not good. So you have to somewhere live your life. So discipline to the level which is good for you, which makes you to grow. At the same time, know where to stop. Too much will become a yogi, then you can't live a life. It will be like so tougher for us. Having in a family life, it's a little tougher. So point is, what I saw, what I read when yesterday evening, I was reading something talking about taking a chance in life. Many of us hesitate to take a chance, hesitate to take an attempt because someone failed. We don't take it. Why? Someone failed and say that don't try that company, you won't get it. Someone say that don't try that country, you won't get it. Don't try this, it won't work. Don't eat this, it won't digest. So someone done it. So we too don't do that. We have the sixth sense. We are different from the animal and we are different. We have sixth sense where we can listen, we can read, we can learn and take a chance. If you don't take risk, if you don't take chance, chances are we stuck up with a common human being and we say that, yes, world is same like what this guy said. If that's the way people worked, today we won't have these many innovations, these many thought process. So point is, give a try, give an attempt, have some discipline with you to make it happen. Shriram, why this gyan in the morning hours? I read something last evening or night. I felt thought of sharing that. Many people think discipline is a tough, but actually discipline is super good. You will enjoy it. All the day, not all the day, but have at least in a week, 3 days or 4 days, follow some discipline. Sufficient enough. If you follow all the day, you will become someone who can't even touch. You will become super good. It's okay. Don't become super good saint. 3 to 4 days, do some good discipline of reading, sleeping, exercising, do which you like to do, and again, take a great chance. If you feel there is a good opportunity in a corporate, try that. If it's a good meeting coming up in a corporate, do the meeting with full involvement. If there is a project where going to happen, read everything about the project, have all the knowledge, help the people around you. If there is a technical thing which you want to learn, sit and learn it. I'll tell you, you will just enjoy that. On end of day, when you put all your efforts, and when you go to the bed, you want to sleep, you will definitely have a good smile in your face. I have done my best. And you will sleep happily 6 to 7 hours. Morning, you wake up very fresh because you've done one good day. One good day leads to another day, keeps another week, another month, a year. And you'll tell the year 2018, amazing year, 2020, great year. So these all starts with one day at a time, right? So with this, we'll kickstart. Do you agree this? We can kickstart some discipline, which will help us to grow higher. You feel so? All right, let's go a little more. Yeah, that's true, right? Keep ticking, keep picking. But again, but don't jump too much into discipline and lose your track. There are some people, what will happen is when I talk about discipline, they'll map themselves into spiritual activities and yogi activities, and they'll go to that direction, never come back. They'll grow all their hair and they become a guy. It's not that way. If you want like it, do it. I'm not stopping you, but have a discipline which is good for your life, which can give you a good smile, which can make you a good sleep for you. That's it. All right, let's kickstart. So yesterday, what we did is we were here, okay, talking about degree of change and degree of frequency of delivery. Up to this, we got some knowledge yesterday. Can I assume that you all got some basic agile knowledge even before you come to the class? Can I assume that most of you, a little basic about agile? Yes. Yeah, most of you have it a little bit. Some of you may be new, but if not, mostly we have some agile knowledge already. But I'm not considering you have a knowledge. I will treat as if you don't know anything. That's the way the classes should happen, because there are few people who don't know what is agile. Okay, let's jump in. So now from today, where we'll start here is, we'll start with talking about something written in the year 1990s, which is from the DSDM, Dynamic System Development Methodology. This is one of the method like a Scrum or Kanban. The method did not got popular, but one this person written got popular. It's called inverted triangle. Okay, this was a personal thought of this person, but little got famous by the time. What this person did is, he or she or a group of people, what they did is, okay, in 1970-80, when they tried IT, information technology, they were looking at how manufacturing and construction industry works. In manufacturing and construction industry, they were able to fix the requirement properly. For this requirement, they are able to have time and money. And over a period of time, the scope can be expanded, maybe added a little bit or changed, or scope will have some cost and time variation. It means it will expand. Initially, they thought 12 months to complete the work. Later, it can be added with 2 more months. It's all variable. It can change or may change. I have seen my home construction, not now, when I'm in school days, my father doing. The scope was clear, but still time was extended because of various reasons. And some cost has got extended. Possible. Because of money not available, sometimes work get extended. Because of work extended, money got higher. This I have seen in my school days. Now here they saw this is a manufacturing and construction industry, nature of work for a long time. And now this person in the method of DSDM in 1994, he proposed that, okay guys, if this is the case in software industry, let us think something different. How we can think is, let us finalize what is the money to spend for this work. Let us finalize that time to do the work. And they call it as time box. If someone hear about it, it's called time box. Let's fix a time. A time could be a release. A release could be 2 months of time. Now, let's keep a time as finalized with a time box. Okay, for benefit of all, I will mute some of you. Nagaprasad, I'm just muting you to harass background sound. All right. So now, if you have here, cost and time is finalized for the release level, sprint level, iteration level, you can think at any level. Now, when you do this, let's keep the requirement open. Now you can ask me the question, Shriram, time is finalized, then what is the purpose of keeping the scope open? Whatever it is, I can do only within this 2 months of time. Am I right on that? If you ask me, yes, you are right. And this is a place the IT or information technology in 1990s started changing the way looking the work. This may not be applicable for construction or manufacturing on those days. Even now, it's not highly applicable. But in information technology or any project which has a lot of changing requirements, if requirement is keep on changing, I cannot follow this triangle because the time will keep on going, cost is keep on going. So they say that let's finalize the cost, let's finalize the time. Within this time and money, tell me what you want. Now the question came is, tell me what you want. To whom this question went? This question went to a person called product owner. That is the customer representative, we call as PO. Now PO comes with a requirement list. The requirement list can be very big. No one says it's wrong. He or she can give me a big list of items. But you have all the item. But tell me which is priority number 1, which is priority number 2, which is priority number 3, which is priority number 4. So the word priority starts coming into the market. So Sriram, what is the big advantage here? What's the big deal? The big deal is when you know the priority, the important thing can be delivered within this timeline. So you mean, Sriram, we won't deliver the unimportant thing? You may deliver if you have time. If you don't have time, stop. This process was so new in 1994 timeline, and that was so useful for the information technology. Don't tell me in construction, can I start like that? No, you cannot do that. You have to continue, complete the construction. Whereas in information technology, those days they found this inverted triangle is pretty interesting, where you save time and save money. And also it put little pressure on the customer side. Don't give too many requirements. Be clear what you want to say. If you're not clear, time will keep on expanding. So have a limit, do that. If you're a very rich customer, you want to spend more money, more time, it's up to you. But which customer want to spend time and money? No one want to spend time and money. Even though they are very rich, they will tell this much only I will give you. This is the time I'll give you. Fine, we agree, but keep the requirement also within that. Makes a decent deal by the time. Even now, it's applicable. How many of you feel that if you are in agile industry, this is what happening for you? There is a time and money has some limitation, whereas requirement can be prioritized. Do you feel that? You get a feel of it if you are in that industry. Okay, if you're not in the industry, you are learning, this is how it works. Fantastic. I got a couple of years telling that it's going that way. All right, let's see something about Agile Manifesto. I would have given a clue that in the year 2001, it is written. I know this is a repeated story for you. You may get a little bored, but understand the story also, which is interesting for you. 2001, it was written by 17 people, who all the group of people from Scrum, Kanban, XP, all other methodologies. They came forward to write 4 manifesto and 12 principles. We will understand this, what it is, and some explanation about it. And then we'll jump to the method called Scrum, which follows this, right? We'll do Scrum and then we'll go for extreme programming, right? That's the way it works. All right, let's go. I remember once I was posting this inverted triangle in my LinkedIn, not now, years back. This I posted sometime. There are many people, very experienced people in the market, started arguing with me not arguing with me, giving negative comments in the LinkedIn. No, this will not work. This will not at all work. It's a failure model, they keep telling. I said, no, this is not for manufacturing and construction industry. This is for information technology or any industry which has a requirement keep changing a lot. There they have to finalize and they have to do it. It is part of Agile Practice Guide book from PMI Institute. Please go and refer this page. And then they little kept quiet. If not, it was a big deal. All these guys have more than 30 years experience, started, hey man, you're wrong. I didn't tell this man, this is from the book of DSDM. I said, oh, okay. So many people slightly unhappy with this inverted triangle. All right. This is, I'm talking years back. Okay, let's go. I'll place these sound. Is everything's good? Perfect. Let's listen to this video.
Hello and welcome. In this video, we will be discussing the 4 values written in the Agile Manifesto by going one by one. Individuals and interactions over process and tools. Traditionally, project team led by the project manager was paying much attention to the process. The majority of them followed the waterfall project management technique based on the article published in 1970 by Winston Royce. The waterfall method itself was a 5-step process as described by him. In 1985, the United States Department of Defense captured this approach in their standards for working with software development contractors, which stated that the contractor should implement a software development cycle that includes the following 6 phases: software requirement analysis, preliminary design, detailed design, coding and unit testing, integration, and testing. Following stringent processes used to make the development process rigid, there wasn't much scope to adopt changes during the project's execution. Additionally, a well-defined process is not the answer to every problem, but being adaptive to change is. No matter how detailed and well-defined a process is, there will always come some barriers that couldn't have been anticipated by any process or tool such overcome. When individuals sit together, discussing possible solutions to a problem that result in a unique approach to solving a complex problem. Innovation doesn't come from rigid processes, but it does come from experimenting with various techniques. The Agile Manifesto says that we should focus more on having competent people working together effectively. Processes and tools are not harmful, but don't use them until they make things easy and effective. Working software over comprehensive documentation. A lot of documentation used to be done before, even before starting to build the software. The features, specifications, layout requirements, test cases, design were documented long before their arrival time. This approach had some drawbacks. Like what you have documented will be outdated by the time you are done with it, you may create many features, which the end user may never use. The time spent on the documentation of such features also goes in vain. Too much documentation. It also delays the project, which later becomes an opportunity cost for the business. Because of all these drawbacks, the Agile Manifesto favors working software over comprehensive documents. Instead of wasting a lot of time creating lengthy documents and then taking feedback based on those documents, we should take the feedback based on working software. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. In the traditional software development method, the customer was involved only at the beginning of the project for contract negotiation. One more time, if there were any changes to be made in the contract. And finally, at the end of the project, the development process was more focused on what is written in the contract instead of being focused on what the customer wants. This approach neglected the value of customer feedback during the project. When software is developed without the customer's constant feedback, the result is often a product that does not completely satisfy the customer's needs. That is why the Agile Manifesto favors customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Agile emphasizes take on constant feedback from the customer throughout the development process. So whatever is being developed is also being seen by the customer. Whenever the customer feels that the project is going in the wrong direction, they can steer the project by providing inputs to the developers. Responding to change over following plan. We're not in favor of the change was very much a usual statement in the traditional project management approach. The waterfall approach was to create detailed plans in the beginning and then following them through the project. Being rigid leads to creating an improper product, but it also makes us miss the chances of bringing changes that could cause our product better. That is why the Agile Manifesto favors responding to change over following plans. When software is developed with agility, we start with a plan that gives us enough idea of the direction we want to move. Then as we proceed and seeing new events unfolding in front of us, we incorporate those realities into the ongoing work. So these were the 4 values of the Agile Manifesto. Follow them in your project management to ensure its success.
I think it makes a decent attempt of explaining what is this 4 manifesto values. I believe this is very common understanding over a period of time. When this was first came up in the year 2001,
Hello?
there were a lot of opposing words for this. This is not applicable, not good. But now the people started feeling that it makes sense. Why? Because the moment you understand on the right side, we are not ignoring it. It is part of it. When these guys written that in the 2001, highly they focused only on the ITP team. Then now they're seeing that it's applicable for all the industry. What's the main deal here is, if you look at the right side, process and tools. I believe without process and without tools, none of the company works, none of the project works. We have it. It should be followed. Only the proportion would change. Imagine there are total 100%. In 100%, I may give more priority, that is 70% for focus with the people, and 30% can be for the process and tools. I'm just setting the percentage. I'm not telling this is right. When you talk about documentation, maybe documentation is very important. Without documentation, you cannot move forward. And some people have a misconception, Agile means no document. That's the most wrong conception of idea. Agile has document. Maybe it will have a 25% of documentation will be there, whereas 75% of our focus will be giving more on the details. When you say documentation, it could be live documents. Something could be updating on the Jira. Something could be artifacts which has what all work to be done, which could have a deliverables, which could be have lessons learned recording over a video, or we show demonstration to the customer regularly. We do it, but we do in a small chunk. In bigger projects, they'll sit and do lessons learned, or even before the project starts, they spend a lot of time to record the content. Here, we do every two weeks. Every two weeks, we keep on recording the information. If you accumulate all the 2 weeks in the project, you will have tons of content. But we do limited, which is needed. We don't do unwanted details. We don't write document which may be useful after 10 years. Those details, those areas are gone, not needed at all. So working software is a primary measure of a progress. Here they're not telling that you no need documentation, needed, limited. If you look at the contracts, yes, even now the contracts are applicable. Without a contract, you can't start the project, right? It is there. But don't keep too much focus on it. Don't keep too much of focus on this. What do? Look at the customer. Customer comes and telling that, hey, Shriram, market is changing, man. There is a demand. There is a new product coming in the market. This is a way we have to do. So have a negotiation, understand what will help them, accordingly deliver them. You cannot be so rigid. See, in these classes, I have many people joining the class. Middle of the class, I tell that, Shriram, I'm not feeling well, or I cannot join in the early morning hours. Can I switch to next batch? We have to say yes. We cannot tell, no, your contract signed. Already you listen 5-6 classes. No, we won't allow you. It's a bad thing if we are doing. We have to accept the change. It's not the world of contract. It's a world of customer understanding. The more you understand the customer stays with you and they have a long-term business with you. It is not only this business, isn't it? They're going to continue with you. A relationship is very important than anything else. Early days, it is something, do one business or run away. Now it's not one business. You're going to be with them. The humanization is very important. Human factor is very important. That's important. Following a plan. You can tell, Shriram, planning is very important. Yes, important. We do follow plan. In Agile, what they mean is you will follow the plan. But at the same time, when there is a change, course correction on the plan to be done, you are ready to accept it. Isn't it? So you make a plan. And when we make a plan in an Agile model of project, where I said requirements, it's going to change a lot, you have to have a mindset, my plan may change. I'm telling I want to go with my friends for a tour. Imagine, okay, we make a plan. The plan is to get a flight, reach Goa, from there, so and so. Now, when I'm doing the plan, I'm having in my mind, since I'm going with these guys, these are Agile guys. When I say Agile guys, on the way, these guys will decide something. I too have some of my friends who on the way decide something. Hey, let's do this, man. Let's do this. When that's decided, that thought process is there, you are ready to invite your changes. You're not reacting or responding. Shriram, what do you mean by responding? Take the changes, digest it. Shriram, what do you mean by digest it? Understand it properly and you respond it back. You will not tell, no, I made a plan. We'll go to Goa, from Goa to this resort, from the resort, then come back. This is not like that. It's going to have a change. Why? Again, why? These both are for the customer's competitive advantage. I'll show a principle for that. Customer's competitive advantage. Why is advantage here? The advantage is the end of day, customer wants some changes in the contract. The customer wants some changes in the plan. The reason is market is changing. Market is changing. What do you mean by market? The customer is coming to you to get a deliverable. That deliverable has to reach the market. When you planned in the month of January, the market was different. When you are going to deliver in the month of February, well, come on, Shriram, within 1 month, what change? Every day, every minute. We are working in a world which is pretty fast moving. I'm not talking for a construction industry. Once you plan something, you have to deliver it. Infrastructure, you have to deliver it. A doctor doing a surgery can deliver it. Even doctors are nowadays changing a lot. Certain industry, yes, you have to plan properly. You cannot ignore it. But some of the industry like information technology are related to that. I'm feeling a lot of changes are happening. So how much flexible you are? This they've written in the year 2001. You'll be so surprised. It's still applicable, well applicable. That is why there is no change has been made in Agile books so far. We are still following. It's almost 21 years. It's the same. But fun part here is now many other industry also seeing that it makes some sense, man. Instead of working software, they're calling us working product. They're telling that many industries looking, we do like it. I feel that process are important, but we have to focus on people. If you don't focus on people, process will eat the people. Yeah, it's true, right? Some places process eats us. When you go there, too much of process, people are not respected. Specifically in hospitals, if there is an emergency case, you go to admit a person, too much of process to be followed. The person is dying there. You have to focus on individual, what I'm going to help them. You've seen some movies, they show this, right? The reality, the process sometimes eat the people. So you have to watch out which is good for you. For this, I don't think somebody from America in 2001 have to come and tell you, this is how you have to do. That's a human factor. We have to do it. Does it make little sense if you see this in this perspective? We are not telling the right side is totally ignored. We'll follow, but give more importance to the left side. Any of you feel that you're doing already on the left side? If you are in a segment of agile oriented companies, are you already doing the left side portion? Giving focus to individuals, working software, contracts I'm seeing always getting extended as a need basis. Changes are getting invited. We are seeing it, right? If you are in 2022, I'm sure you're seeing. I remember I was talking Agile in the year 2010 when I was in sometime in the US. It was not agreed, okay, because many did not follow this left side by the time. Over a decade of time, now I think many companies slowly got it. Imagine 2030, you and me sitting in these classes like this. I don't even want to explain this. If I open the manifesto, many will feel, come on, Shriram, we are already doing it, man. Let's move some other topic, huh? Talk something in Agile. I'm talking this for last 10 years. Now I feel that it's almost getting matured. In another 4 or 5 years, people say, come on, Shriram, hold on, man. We know this, man. Keep moving. Okay. For information, this is the part. And if you're not from the industry, which is not flexible, then it is new to you, right? Very good. So now our process is we are moving towards this. Very good. That's nice. Let's see some more. A little work for you. Look at the screen. There is a match the following. Help me how to draw the line. As you observed right now, help me working software over. You can open up the mic and speak with me. Where I have to go?
Documentation. Comprehensive documentation.
Very good. Okay, then responding to change.
Following the plan.
Following the plan. Very good.
Individual interactions over process.
Process and tools.
Right. We respect the people very much. Very good. Nice. Customer collaboration.
Over contract
negotiation.
Very good. Very good. Nice. All right. Good. You people all have a good voice in the early morning and late nights. Yeah. Like that. You know, when I open up in the morning, I start my voice will be so broad. I have to take some warm water, make it normal, and come back to track. All right. Good. That's good thought. Nice. Thanks for sharing. Let's go a little more. All right. This is a picture. Just take a look of picture. These are the 12 principles based on which that values have been written. If somebody want to know Agile, only this 4 and 12, nothing more than this. Now, what happened is, very good. I can see some of them in YouTube also. Hey, thanks guys from the YouTube. Now coming back, these 12 principles was written along with the 4 values. Okay. I think these guys are so busy on the ski resort in US 2001. I like these principles. Okay. It's a very decent principles are written. Now, there is a full line of sentences there, which you would have seen in the writing habits. Looking at the image, tell me which principle is very attractive to you. Tell me one number which you like. We'll talk about it. Edwin goes with 10. Edwin, I think you are so fancy with the 10 from a long time, huh? Isn't it? It's a Sachin number, huh? Sachin, Maradona number. Roy goes with 1. Sudip Roy.
Number
That's a
1.
lot of, very good, nice. Before I say something, let me listen to you. So, Edwin, what do you understand about 10? By the word 10, maintain simplicity. Or you like the word kiss? Huh? Okay, go ahead. What do you think about this 10th one?
Unnecessary things can be avoided. Like,
fantastic, man. You got it. Unnecessary. What do you mean by unnecessary in a project? What do you think unnecessary can be there?
So unnecessary requirement of features, like among the 100 features, there may be only 30-40 features which would be really required, and rest 60 features may not be. We won't be using it.
True, but when somebody is not going to use it, why customer is giving that to you?
Customer will give all the requirements. We need more.
By the way, tell me, who has to maintain the simplicity? The performing company or a customer?
Customer. PO should do it.
It's a combination of both. Good. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to put a lot of cross questions. What he said is right. The principle said simplicity, the art. They use the word art, ART, art. The art of maximizing amount of work not done is essential, right? Amount of work not done. Try to minimize. This came directly from extreme programming. I would have given a clue. Today, Agile is really good means there is one person to be appreciated, Ken Beck. He is the founder of extreme programming, a very honest guy. He never copied anything. He did on his own. And whatever you see, the important principles, most of them will be from this guy. Okay. And unfortunately, more credit went to Scrum guys. Okay. This is mostly for this guy only. And now, simplicity came from that particular thing. What he written in the year 1993, sometime for extreme programming is, don't complicate the thing. If somebody come to you, try to give them the important one. Like Amit says in the chat window, minimum viable product. As a first release, give something which is usable to them. Let them use, fail, have trouble. Let them come and tell me what further they need. Without they asking something, don't overload. These all came from the experience of 1990s and 2000. Even I worked in 2000 after the Agile principle came in the market. When somebody come with a requirement, we try to enlarge it. I was working in a banking domain. They were doing a share market trading application, if you are aware of it, in European market. We had to bring up some trading app for them. It was in totally an Oracle by the time. And the Italian bank people came with some requirement. But what we will do, we will have some architects, designers, these guys will blow it, make it bigger. You will tell after 5 years, after 8 years, this, keep on adding. I have literally seen that. Junior engineer, what you will do is just sit and watch what these guys are doing. So they'll do all the design, Visio diagram, all will happen. Yes, they did it, worth it. But what happens is when you complicate too much, the initial work itself will not reach the customer. When you add too much, sometimes you don't even know what you're going to deliver. You lose a track of it. Rather take simple and deliver it. But in our mind, you have the big picture. Nobody says stop it. And also, like Edwin rightly said, many features we don't use. It's all unwanted. I many times tell that, go to your office, in your office, Monday to Friday, you fill the timesheet. You all fill the timesheet, 8888. In the system, PeopleSoft or whatever tool you use, there'll be a number of features. Do you think you use all? Many times you don't use it. And whenever you need something, it don't work. There is something called expense report summation in every company. In this tool, at least 5 items will not work. Anyone have this experience in the recent days? The two in the COVID season, you have to submit your expense report. This expense report, they will have something where you have to submit your bill, COVID bill or travel bill, something. In this, they will have 45 items will be there. The main 2 items will not work. So point is too much of things adding, the basic thing is not satisfied. So here he made it very clear, keep it very simple. Top of that, keep adding. I believe that's where the concept came called minimum viable product and start focusing on what is important. It's a groundbreaking stuff by the time of 1990s, even today. Don't do too much. Very good. Nice. Thanks, Edwin. Let's touch something more. I saw Roy is telling 1. Roy, what do you mean by 1? What do you want to go for 1? Satisfy the customer. What do you feel about it?
So I think the reason I chose one, Kumar, Sriram, because that is the most important value that every customer would want, and every contractor, every third party vendor, they would always try to make sure that they are able to satisfy customer needs.
Right.
And whatever else you do, at the end of the day, if the customer is not satisfied, then you have not met your goals. So that's why I chose number one.
I understand. But what is the scale of satisfaction? How do you, what is the scale? How do you satisfy?
So in my case and in our experience, only way that I think we can satisfy the customer is by engaging them in our discussions and involving them and getting feedback from them. If they feel that working in silos, like usually what done in predictive way, then they feel like they are left out, and at the end they get to see something which they are not expecting.
Exactly. Rightly said. And even in chat, I'm seeing meeting the requirements is satisfaction. I somewhat agree with this, because PMI, I'm reading this for so many years, Project Management Institute, they made it very clear. What customer asks, deliver them. That's it. But when they ask very clear what they want, very specifically, person says, I want A. What you want is A. The A letter should be in the blue in color, what color, how big it is. Be very clear and deliver what they ask. Customer will be satisfied. And I completely agree with Sudeep. It's saying that the customer should be engaged from the beginning of the product. Always they be with them system. They should know what is happening. And the transparency is there, people like it. Nowadays, if you go to car service centers, I should not use the word nowadays, last 10, 15 years, I'm seeing like that. Car service centers, early days, I remember my first car, we give the car, they take the car inside. And after 3 to 4 days, they'll call us, the car is ready. I can't see how the car look like, what they're doing. Now, if I go to any service centers, a good branded service centers, they'll keep open glass door for the customer to sit, where you can see your car getting serviced there. Okay, they do in front of you. There is no hidden here. They keep all the service centers open. Have you observed it? Maybe last 15, 20 years, that's how it is. Car service centers is not different from the customer when they come in. Customers can see how your car is getting serviced. I'm not going to help these guys, but I can see what's happening. Now, this transparency shows some involvement. I'm feeling comfortable. There is something is visible to me. Visibility. So likely Sudeep say that visibility, be with the team. And at the end of the day, you give what they want, expectations. But be very clear, customer expectations are endless. They keep on going. That's why comes simplicity, art of maximizing amount of work not done. I think in the chat also somebody put in the YouTube, right? Who is that? Tanmi, he or she says that company can suggest if customer gives complex requirements. So you can suggest, man, keep it simple, man. Let's go to the market. You have to win the business, right? You keep complicating the requirement, you won't go to the market. Instead of going in the month of February, you'll go only in the month of May. Meantime, your competitors will release a couple of products. What do you want to do? So that's the way you help the customer. Customer helping is not only the quality deliverable, it's beyond that, giving suggestions, ideas, thought process, making them to win the business. That's quite interesting. Super good. Right. Let me pull something more. I saw somebody talking about Soumya. Says 6. Soumya, what do you want to say 6? If you're not mic ready. Okay, fine. Let's move a little on the 6th one. 6th one is something about face-to-face interactions. And this is again came from extreme programming. In extreme programming, he made sure that the Ken Beck XP, people have to sit in a one circle area. In fact, they give a distance of 33 meters. In a 33 meters, the distance they have to sit. I don't know how they set is 33 meters. And with the COVID season now, you can't expect to sit in 33 meters. But 33 meters is a timeline, I mean, distance which this team can form together. I'll talk about this as a class progress. Now, when people are sitting together in a place, chances are they may interact with one another on the topic of project, technology, and more of a face-to-face conversation. The principle says that the most efficient and effective way of conveying information to and within, understand the word, to and within development team is face-to-face conversation. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within development team is face-to-face conversation. They didn't talk about the senior management, junior management. They say when your team is working 3 to 9 people working together, let them be together. They'll have a face-to-face conversation. Most efficient and effective method. I completely agree on that. Many a times writing email does not work. We meet the people, it works a lot. I have felt in office that too. In the laptop service centers, the systems will be there. In office, you have an IT department. Okay, you send a mail to them. Hey, can you fix my laptop and give it back? No reply will come to you. Send a red color font. Copy anyone in the CC. Your senior manager, Obama, Bin Laden, everybody you copy the CC. They don't even bother. It won't work. Whereas you take your laptop, go to the desk with them, sit with them, have a conversation. Hey, what's happening, man? How things are going? Did you watch a football match? All this stuff. They talk to them sometime. Then they ask, hey, what's up, man? Shriram, how can I help you? Hey, this laptop is bugging me, man. How can I fix it? Give it here. Go have a coffee, tea, come back. I'll fix it. Done. Many times it worked. When that can work there, why not with your communication with your team members? And there is a word called osmotic communication. I'll bring up in the class, which talks about we overhear something when you sit with the team and talk. Over here, not about the personal story, about the project related. That's also an interesting factor. Very good. Let's go. I saw somebody put 0.5. It said, Deepika, you put the 0.5, 0.4?
4. Yeah.
What do you want to say about the 4?
4 is like where we spend most of our time is at work. Now, right now with the COVID situation is a little different, but when we are working together, there has to be collaboration, because in order to get the work done throughout the project, and I work from the client side. So if we are not very collaborative with each other, then I won't get my work done and they won't have all the details that they need to get the work done for me. So that's where I went with work together.
Good. When you say work together, is it only for your team members? Do you think that?
No, it has to be both sides, right? The client as well as the people who are doing the work. That's the main important collaboration is what I'm talking about, working together here. Yeah.
Fantastic. You got the right point. Even I'm seeing something in the YouTube also. Tanvi says that because it can conclude other principles partly. Fantastic. Good said. That took a good explained. This principle says that business people and developers should work together daily throughout the project. That's a principle. Business people and developers, the people who bring in the concepts and ideas in the market to be done, and the team which is actually doing, they have to work together daily throughout the project. Why they say this is, when the person giving the business and the person doing the work, they don't interact regularly, the gap starts happening. They call us gulf of evolution. It start having gulf gap. So the more they sit together, chances are you see the vision of what this person want to do, and the business person also understand the technical difficulty of doing certain things. Not everything can be achieved overnight. You need some complexity, work is involved. Somewhere business needs more research to be completed. So the business person and developer should work together daily throughout the project, which gives again customer satisfaction, like Sudeep said. The first one, customer satisfaction can happen. When you know what is happening, you feel good. I said about the car shed. When I go to the car shed, I'm happy to see what's happening. Of late, if I go to any restaurants also, they cook in front of you. Huh? You feel very happy. Okay, this is happening for me. For me, it's getting ready for me. I do feel good. So that sense of satisfaction is very much needed. Super good. I like it. Let's pull a couple of more. Who else we have? 4 I saw there. 8. Rajesh, you want to go with 8? What is that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're comfortable. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sustenance development. There are many situations in real time where the pace is not consistent, pace of doing work. It could be sometimes the requirement complexity in a given iteration where the discussions take more time. But in some iterations, because of the requirements clarity, the pace of the work will be relatively fast. And in sometimes the critical resource might be on leave, or some seasonal time where festive might arrive in a particular iteration. So there should, this could be the situations where the sustenance development thought process should come within team across
Makes
developers.
sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. If you read this principle, rightly you said, agile process promotes sustainable development. What is sustainable? A constant pace. Suddenly hyping, suddenly going down. That's not the way you have to work. That too, when the requirements are so volatile and team members are self-organized, more energetic, we tend to do too much sometime, tend to lower too much. Both can happen. See, we are not working in an industry called command and control. This is an industry of agility where we respect the people on their value. We respect them. We are living in the year 2022. We are not living in 1940s and 50s where the World War happened, where we have an army commander telling people to jump, fire. No, we are working in 2022. Here we respect value to the people. We are talking a lot about diversity. We give respect to men, women, challenged people. Everyone is here. Everyone has a knowledge what to do. When you can sit and do with typing or do some knowledge work, anyone can do. There is no difference here. You are rich, poor, male, female, nothing here. If that's the case, sustainability should be there. How to maintain it? You will bring the sponsor, the developer, and the user who is going to use it, who is sponsoring it, doing it, everyone should be able to maintain a constant pace. Don't too much skews inside. I pressed this point very well, 8th point. Thankfully, Rajesh brought out. Many companies don't realize it. In the name of Agile, some of the teams are skewed too much. Every 2 weeks, they want to deliver something. They push them, do more, do more. No, that's not the way. Creativity and good work can be done when you give a freedom of thought, when people can think what they can do better way. You respect them, you trust them. Team also should respond properly. They should also give back what they're expecting. In the name somebody is trusting you, you should not backstab them. So Agile process promotes. Agile process does not ask you to skews. Maintain a constant pace, okay, indefinitely. It keep going regularly. You guys have to understand it. You cannot suddenly rise, suddenly go down. That too in velocity. When you go to velocity area, I talk about when you go to the classes there, they'll expect every sprint velocity should keep on rising. And that's not the case. You can't do that. There is a level, a sustainable pace. You have to maintain a constant pace to deliver it. If your team's velocity is at 25 points, yeah, maybe 27, 23, that's a range. Suddenly cannot be 50, suddenly cannot be 10. That's not the good thing. Fantastic, man. Good job. All right, let's hit a couple of more before we go to the class further deep inside. Anyone else want to talk something else? Shishir, go ahead.
Yes, so to me, reflect and adjust also means course correction. So basically, once any, say, mistake or a gap is identified, it should be immediately analyzed and improvement should be implemented in the next iteration so that the quality is maintained.
Very good, very good. Fantastic. You mean the process improvement. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Very good. So if you see here at regular intervals, what do you mean by regular intervals? It could be 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month. It could be any time. They didn't tell you what it is. By the way, these principles are written in the year 2001. After Scrum, Kanban, XP, all defined for Agile. This all happened 1992 to 2000. It happened. In 2001, all these guys were sitting and writing. Who's doing this? Jeff is there from Scrum. Ken Beck is there from XP. All these guys sit and writing. They didn't want to tell 2 weeks. They say regular. You decide what you want to do. In today, if you're working in Scrum methodology, your regular can be 2 weeks once, or 3 weeks once, or 4 weeks once, as you wish. So this is Agile principle. Tomorrow, today's Scrum is there. Tomorrow something else can come. They will follow 1 week once. Possible. But point here is at regular intervals, the team reflects. You look at yourself on how to become more effective. Very simple. How effective? What do you mean by effective, Shriram? Could be any way. The time you work in office, maybe the discipline of communication, maybe the way of understanding the work properly, then tunes and adjust their behavior purely on philosophy and psychology. They try it. They look at how you can reflect, improve yourself on the process. How do you do? For example, we pick up a couple of user stories to deliver, but we didn't deliver it on time. But who will investigate it? In retrospective, we'll sit and talk. What happened, guys? We picked up 4. Only 2 we delivered, 2 we can't deliver it. What could be the reason? We're not going to push anyone. We're going to just discuss what's the reason. The reason is something like maybe we didn't understand the story properly. We didn't get the acceptance criteria from the customer properly, the mistake of customer. No, we should have discussed with them. In the principle number 5, we are telling that business people and developer must work together daily. When your customer is daily with you, what stops you to ask them the requirement properly? Oh yeah, that's a point. Then I didn't get the test data properly. Okay, you have a convincing team with you. Why don't you talk with them? So you look at yourself, how you can improve. So Sriram, you mean that within one sprint will improve totally? May not happen. It will take time. If we all can improve in one day, then world would have been a great place, right? We can't. It will take time. So we have to keep working regularly. Every issue, new thought process, how to improve. So that's why they say reflect how to become more effective, then tunes, adjust their behavior accordingly. According to the situation, will change. I just love this word this guy's written there. Okay, it's applicable all the time. Shriram, how can I remember this, man? How can I remember this for a long time? How do I read it? I remember it. I know all the principle, but I know each word, comma, dot, everything, but I don't do mug up work. How do I read this? I picked up few days. I first read principle number 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Okay, odd numbers I go. Then once I go with the even number 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 6 principles I write one day, odd numbers. I remember it. Then I go even numbers, another day I remember it. Like this I did for few times. Then I have a story for the principles. Each principle I have some story. In my real life, some stories will be there. I'll connect it. When I connect to the story will have some pictures, some colors. So my brain can work by pictures and colors. So every principle will have some picture and color. I can remember it. I'll tell you, if you can do like that, this 12 principle is going to give you food, money, health for next 10 years. So if you know this 12 alone can give that, please read it. Okay, it's really useful for you. I'm sure most of you read it, but I'm expecting, please read it again. Okay, was it a good deal? Okay, Amit want to leave early. Okay, Amit, no problem. Call. Okay, very good. Thanks, Rakesh. All right, do we feel a little comfortable with the principles now? You got some idea? Of course, we didn't touch all. We'll go some more as we progress towards. All right, this image will help you. I put this image as a good image. I liked it. One principle we missed out, man. Anyone want to talk about principle number 2? I like this principle, which is not accepted in 1917 and 80. Principle number 2. Anyone want to talk about it before we jump?
We should not be rigid. Requirements from customer. We should accept and then act accordingly.
Right. Rakesh says this is why we are here. Okay. That's right. Changes. See, but we can't blame the people of 1980, 1990, 2000, because those days, people are very far distance from each other. Once they give a communication over a post letter or card, after that, you can't meet them. So you give some work to them and they have to do it. Based on that, they would have planned the material, people. If you want to change, it's very expensive for them. Scrap cost, quality cost, people cost, very high. I'm talking 80s and 90s or 2000 timeline. But now you have all the technology in the world where quickly you can tell, no, I don't want this. Can you change it? Anything. You order a birthday cake, you order a shirt to be stitched, or you want to buy something, you do something. A lot of facilities available. By 1980s and 70s, not available for certain projects where they order it, you say that you have to do that. But at the same time, that is not a greatest reason. Changes can be accepted when a person comes to you and tell that, hey guys, I need a change here. But in order to accept the change, we should have that flexibility of changing the plan as well. Now, the principle says that welcome changing requirements even late in development. Look at this. I like this word. They say that welcome changing requirements even late in development. Agile process harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. I'm not telling change is easy these days. Even today, change is tough. But for the customer's advantage, we say, yes, I'm going with my family to the restaurant and we are having food. And imagine one of the kids says that, I don't like this. If it is 20 years back, the restaurant don't accept it. Once the kid says no, also you have to pay the bill for it. They don't even bother. Nowadays, if a kid slightly cries, the restaurant manager walks there with a suit Hey, how can I help you? Directly with the kid, not with me. 10, 20 years back, they'll ask the parent what the kid wants, why he or she is crying. Now they go bend down, sit with the kid. Hey, baby, what do you want? How can I help you? Kid keep crying or say something. They say, okay, I'll get a new cake, a new fruit, something like that. They don't even bill you the previous one. They say, it's okay, sir, we don't bill it. You'll be surprised, man. It's okay, sir, fine. They want customer longevity. They want customer be with them. It's not something they're faking them. It's not something like they're burning them, but they're trying to change things. They have tried to accept things moving forward. Those are the people survive in the market. Okay, but you don't take advantage of it, right? Next time you go to the same restaurant with a bigger family, you give a big business because the relationship is built. Communication is good. Next time you go, the same manager standing there, you smile at them, the person says, hello, sir, welcome. Happy to see you again. Business is growing. So you accept the change, you work for the customer's benefit. This mindset has changed a lot in the last few years. Maybe in 1940s and 50s after the World War, we were so rigid for some time because of various reasons. We don't know why. But now things are better. But again, in between, China came in, made it again a little more tougher now. Every country started closing the borders, telling that self-sustained country. We do our own medicine. We do our own thing. This China made the problem. Anyway, we'll come back again. We'll come out. It took 50, 60 years to come back. Again, these guys put the border again. Now we have to open up. Anyway, coming with the project level, changing the requirements is something thinking about how we can accept change in the middle of the game. That's a point. All right, let's move on. Good. Things are good. All right, let's jump a little more. Hope things are good for the people in the YouTube. Oh, there is some more explanation here. In Agile, scope is variable and requirements are ever changing, and hence welcome changes inherent. Okay, good. Nice. Thanks for the points. I appreciate it. There is a question. Make an attempt. Very simple.
Software.
Very simple, huh? Shriram, don't give me simple questions, man. Huh? Come on, man. We don't like it. Agile principle, one of the below is a primary measure. I want you to note on the word primary. If a primary is working software, what could be secondary? What could be secondary?
D.
Minimal documentation can be there, isn't it? Encouraging working environment, do you think so? Is it? I don't see that the answer here. Secondary is not given here. Maybe a minimal documentation can be a secondary one, or artifacts. We call it as artifacts, right? Could be docs or some information. So when you watch out, why I'm telling that primary, secondary is you should not take it for granted. In software industry, only working is considered, rest all not considered. Because I have many people who work in Agile for more than 10 years. They too have the misconception in Agile, no document at all. I have to tell them that document is there. Without document, how will it work? Something should be there. So point here is working software is very important focus because that is live, running. Apart from that, some documents will be there, lessons learned or your product backlog or some of the artifacts you record, something will be there, minimal. You don't do extensive what we did in 1990s and 2000. Those days it was needed because of lack of communication. Now there is no lack of communication. Customer is in your premises, product owner sitting with you, then what do you want? So you have a minimal information recorded. All right, let me bring up the answer. Here it goes. According to Agile, working software is a primary measure of progress. Documentation also needed, look at here. Documentation also needed, only barely sufficient is enough. Okay, I know I'm repeating this again and again because many people working in Agile has a wrong assumption. So I have to tell that again. Okay, we need it. All right, Agile, we may hit some more time before we go for the break, next 10 to 15 minutes. Agile umbrella. Shriram, do I need to learn all these methods? Not at all. In exam, you will be targeted more on Scrum, XP, Kanban, and Lean. These areas will be targeted. More will be on Scrum. You'll be targeted on that area. Rest all, you will learn what are the methods available. There you stop. Don't go further deep inside. Is this the only method available? There are more methods than this in the market. So Shriram, you mean that Agile means too many methods? Yes, a lot are there. Tomorrow something can come. Imagine you learn this 4 values, 12 principles very well. You got very much love with this. Now you keep on thinking day and night. After 6 months, you come with your own method. You tell this is a new Agile method I have found. Yeah, if it is good, people follow that. There are many companies have their own method of doing work. There is no need to follow exactly Scrum, exactly Kanban. You can do. But some of us go by the proven concept. If the world says this is a proven, we'll take it. Why we go and buy one particular car model? Because the market says a Toyota runs really well. Then you take the Toyota framework and use it, right? Somebody will try with a new car. Sometimes it works, sometimes it fails. If a drastic fail, then you feel, shucks, man, I should not chosen the car. So people like to go by the proven model most of the time. Very some will try the new one, right? That's how it goes. So let's see some of the proven models. Here it is. I think we saw this screen earlier. Let me recall again. Scrum is followed in 58% of the companies who follow agility. Because you should not think the whole world is following Scrum. That's a wrong assumption. There is a world apart from Agile also. Okay, there is a world apart from Agile, because many companies still don't follow Agile. They don't want it. There is no need for them also. Okay, because Agile in the market, you cannot force it. From Agile, you can take some of the people handling. Today we saw about customer satisfaction. We saw about better communication, something we can pick up, which I saw 12 principle, not all applicable to all the industry. Some you can pick it up. That is why PMP insisting Agile. If you see in PMP, Agile, they will not force you certain things. They'll tell you, respect the people, work with the people, make it happen. There they stop. PMP made it very cleverly what they need, not more than that. They know how to put salt and pepper on it. They are in the industry for 50, 60 years, right? They know. So no force on it. But at the same time, don't think whole world is Agile. No, there's some world with we can work without Agile. So the world which work in Agile, there they follow Scrum, because Scrum is a very beautiful framework. I would have given a clue yesterday. Framework is a system in place. Just pick it up, use it. What to do from Monday to Friday. It's well explained. We love it, right? Monday to Friday, what to do somebody else, we love it. If I'm joining a new company, I'll go and ask them first time, can you tell me whom to talk with? These are the guys. Can you tell me from Monday to Friday what to do? This is what you do. Fantastic. Thanks. My job is done. So you want to know the role. You don't want to be left all alone. Do something what you like. No. So Scrum is one of that methodology or a framework. We call it as a framework, very clearly done. I would have given a clue yesterday. Same way, Scaled Agile is a framework where more than 5 Scrum teams can work together. This is well defined there. That's why Scaled Agile is famous. In next 5 to 6 years, if you have knowledge about Scrum and Agile, Unscaled Agile, your survival is really, really good. Not bad, really good. So whenever you get time, learn more about Agile and Scrum, learn about Scaled Agile. So Sriram, do I no need to read LESS, large scale Scrum? Read it, understand what it is. There is something about discipline Agile. Yeah, learn it. These all learn what it is, but go deep inside Scaled Agile, deep inside Agile and Scrum. I'm sure your job nature is going to be pretty broader. Okay. The wave is coming. Get ready. All right. This page, this person. Some of you would have seen him in the PMP. Quick recall. Peter Drucker is called as a management guru. He is no more. In 2005, he expired. Amazing guy. Okay. And he wrote a lot of books. His thought process was so super good. Okay. One of the book is A Landmark of Tomorrow. In this book, he gave a word that, hey guys, there is something called knowledge workers. In the year 1959, am I right on the year? Yeah. In the year 1959, he written this book. 59, imagine the year. Huh? Imagine the year, what we are doing, what our industry were doing. By the time he written a book, Landmark of Tomorrow, a good title, okay? Going forward, we will have more focus on knowledge workers. I was reading some content out of it. I found it very interesting. The world will move from blue collar job to white collar job. I felt, wow, that makes sense. Yeah. What he was telling is going forward, more automation will come into picture. Machines will come into picture. This he's talking in the year 1959. And people will be there. These are added content recent days. Like you have the jobs like designers, accountant, engineers, architects, lawyers, physicians. These are knowledge workers who use their mind, energy to do a work, not a physical work. Now, why you're explaining this here, Sriram? If you ask me, more or less, we are working more with knowledge workers, less with physical workers. Is it right? Do you agree with me? For me, it's very less. I have very less interaction with people who work at the physical level, high interaction with people who work in the knowledge workers. Some of you will be in the industry where you have both. Anyone here have both the combination heavily? You work with both the knowledge workers and also you work with the physical workers, right? Right. There'll be very less combination. Some industry, they have the opportunity, some don't have the opportunity. Now, what's the question here? The question here is, when you work in an agile industry, majority of the time we interact with knowledge workers. When you interact with knowledge workers, the answer is knowledge workers are capable of doing the job efficiently than anyone else around them. In the sense, you can be called as a manager, a leader, a CEO, still the knowledge workers are capable of doing things. The days are gone where the workers has to fold their hands and stand next to you. Yes, sir, how can I do that? The days are gone. Now they know what to do. You have to just enable that button. In the Fast and Furious movie, if you watch it, there'll be one red color button. They'll open, the car will go boom. Something like that. These guys all have a red button, just you have to open it. They are knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. I know we have to tell next generation because we are getting old. At least I'm getting old. If you talk to next generation, age of 20 is coming up in the industry. These kids are so knowledgeable. If you interact with them, the way they look at the world is totally different. And the way they learn is pretty fast, quick learning. They can catch up just like that. Maybe the schooling system, what they read is different than what I read. The schooling system, when I read it, would have been like mugging up or not understanding the concept. Teachers are writing on the board. The concept's totally changed. Now the kids are coming out of the college age of 21. They're so sharp, they can pick up the work like anything. Now these knowledge workers are capable of doing something great. You have to just be with them, tell them or guide them what to do. That's all they will do. But I also give a word, this knowledge workers, sometimes these kids have slight problem of handling themselves. That also I have to talk, but this is not the place to talk. I'll talk sometime in philosophy and psychology. They have little problem of managing themselves. Sometimes they overdo. Sometimes they have this a little attitude problem. They have to come out of it. And that's a little problem. If not, they are super good. Okay. All right. Let's listen to a video. Here they talk about Peter Drucker giving a thought process about knowledge workers, what it is. Let's see what they say, what the ability of knowledge workers. Let's observe this.
Peter Drucker taught me the fact that today we manage knowledge workers. Right. Knowledge worker knows more about what they're doing than the boss. The history of leadership was the boss was superior to the people being led. Bigger, stronger, smarter, talk to God, whatever, superior. Yeah. Well, that's yesterday, that's not tomorrow. Today, most of us manage people called knowledge workers. If I'm a CEO and I know more about marketing than the marketing person or finance than the finance person, I don't have a leadership problem, I have a selection problem. I have the wrong people. You want them to know more than you. Well, when people know more than you, you can't tell them what to do and how to do it. They already know. You have to ask, you have to listen, you have to learn. One of the great leaders that we both know is Alan Mulally. Alan, former CEO of Ford, fantastic, fantastic leader. And Alan tells a story. He was in a meeting and he encourages people, red, yellow, green, on top 5 priorities. Green, I'm on plan. Red, I'm not on plan, don't know how to get there. And yellow, I got a strategy. Yeah. His first meeting, everything's green and they're losing $17 billion. Alan goes, well, it's not so good. Let's do this again. Finally, someone said red and Alan goes, well, you know, you don't know where you are and how to get there. And he said, I don't either. I know less than you. Right. Well, that's
what a moment.
Brilliant.
What a moment to, because this is with all the senior leaders of Ford.
Yeah.
And they're kind of testing him because it's early on in his days, right?
Right.
And if there's ever a moment you would think a CEO is going to go, let me show you how I can save the moment, because we are losing millions and billions of dollars. There's pressure on me from the board to turn this around. But instead of that, he does something different. What does he do?
He says, I know less than you. Why don't we actually find people and ask them for the answers? Right. Well, they found out the answers were 3 or 4 levels below them in the company. So I love your philosophy of asking in this advice trap.
Yes.
JP Garnier was one of my coaching clients. JP was a CEO of GlaxoSmithKline. I asked JP, what'd you learn about leadership as a CEO? He said, I've learned a hard lesson. He said, my suggestions become orders. My suggestions become orders. And I said, if they're smart, they're orders. And if they're stupid, they're orders. If I want them to be orders, orders. If I don't, they're orders anyway. My suggestions are orders. So I said, what'd you learn from me? He said, before I speak, stop and breathe and ask one question. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And this advice trap that you talk about, very profound. What we don't realize as leaders, our suggestions tend to become orders.
Right, they suck the oxygen of creativity out of the room. Exactly. Everybody's like, that's a good suggestion, boss. Let me just write that down. I think I'm going to do this idea because you gave it to me.
In that Ford case study, if Alan would have said, have you thought of?
Yeah.
What would have happened? Sir, yes, sir. Thought of it now, boss.
Exactly.
Yes, Mr. CEO.
I call have you thought of fake questions, because it's just advice with a question mark attached on the end. Nobody's thinking it's a question at all.
Everybody says, go do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think what you're doing is brilliant. The advice trap, getting leaders to have that discipline to stop and breathe.
Yeah.
And a great question, Alan, is, am I the world's expert on this topic?
Yeah.
If I'm not, why am I talking?
Exactly.
Okay. Some of you would have watched this video before. Just a thought here. What attracted you in this video? What sentence attracted you in this video? I too have some personal, but what got attracted you?
Alan Mulally, the CEO of Ford, saying that he knew less finance about the people who were there.
Yeah,
because
that's true. That's true, right? That's true, right? Sometimes in the ground level, they know more than what the top level people know. It's true. That too in the knowledge workers. Okay, what else attracted? Suggestions becomes order. Prashant puts there. Was it a good one? I think it's interesting that many places we find suggestions become orders. That too in political ground is very common. This guy gives some suggestion and the whole world will tell, oh yes, boss. Right? And suggestions becoming orders, the biggest problem for failure. Somebody has to cross question you. Somebody has to counter you. Somebody has to ask, is this really right to do? It's not about your position. It's about the idea. Is it really worth doing? Right? Advice trap. Did anyone listen to that advice trap? That's also there. So now when we work with the knowledge workers, this is going to really be a problem. Now, why I'm putting all this thing in the beginning of the class here, you are working with the people who are knowledge and capable of it. When you are working with that kind of people, what should be your mindset? Your mindset should not be a command and control model. You cannot work as a leader or a manager, not even use the word leader, manager, whom you saw 50 years back, where people command it. I give an order, you have to do it. Those model will not work when you work with knowledge workers. Then what is the mindset needed? The mindset needed from the Agile books is called servant leadership. Shriram, what is servant leadership? A person who is capable of enabling, empowering, and helping people to do what they can do, even more than that. So you will have a position to handle. The position could be called as CEO, director, program manager, portfolio manager, release train engineer, Agile expert, Agile coach, Scrum master, delivery manager, you call it, name it. But what you're doing here, you're not going to force anyone. You're going to only enable them to think in the direction. So how do you do that, Shriram? You will show the vision to be achieved. You will help them with the needs. You will clear the blockers on the way. Rest all they will do. You don't need to go and sit in with them every day, ask, have you completed it? You don't need to tell that you have to do it. No, they will do. Show them the vision, show them the path, the rest they will do. But Shriram, it's not working. Yeah, it will take time. When we take time to learn what is servant leadership, they will take time to learn what to do. So it will take little time, but you need to have that patience. You need to move forward. But I feel it's matured now. If I'm talking this in the year 2022, it's matured than what I saw 8 years or 10 years back, a lot. 10 years back, if I talk about this word, people look at me top to down. Man, what are you talking here? I am not a saint. I have to make these people do the job. My CEO will fire me. But now they're saying, yeah, it's needed because credit goes to the Agile segment. They keep spreading the message vast in the market. And that too, now if a scaled Agile is enforcing agility specifically from the top management. Because there are days, Agile is followed or a Scrum is followed only at the team level. When you go to the higher and higher level, they were still in the very traditional format of planning, doing things. Only team will work in Scrum. And now after scaled Agile came in, they start enforcing everything from the top down. Even the CEO, director of the company should come and sit in the Agile meeting. They should talk a vision of what they want to achieve. And that opened up the door right now. I'm seeing in another 5-6 years, things are going to change very drastically. Every organization from top to bottom, they'll talk about leadership in Agile way. All right. All right, Rakesh putting a point, even in company too, when they have no other idea with the fake leaders. Okay, great. Let's watch a quick video about a servant leadership, what they say here.
Servant leadership is a tried and tested leadership approach that's about creating a shift from managing for results to designing environments that create results. Robert Greenleaf coined the phrase servant leadership in the 1970s. It's a form of leadership that replaces self-interest with service to others. Servant leadership is about influence rather than power and control, focusing on others' strengths rather than weaknesses, listening rather than giving orders, and long-range benefits rather than short-term profits. Servant leaders demonstrate a range of 9 key attributes. The good news is that all of these can be developed. Listening, self-awareness, foresight, empathy, persuasion, stewardship, healing, conceptualization, and building a sense of community. Servant leadership is about transformation and future focus. And adopting its leadership principles complements agile ways of working really well. The nature of work in the workplace has changed drastically. Our leaders need to change too. In order to continue to maximize delivery and customer value, our leaders need to demonstrate an ability to adapt. According to the Economist Intelligence Unit, the top 3 emergent leadership requirements are ability to motivate, ability to work well across cultures and geographical boundaries, and ability to facilitate change. An effective servant leader would demonstrate these by role modeling collaboration, accountability, and demonstrating innovation, emphasizing the importance of embracing and applying new knowledge at an individual and team level, and encouraging novel approaches and ideas. New demands are being made of leaders at all levels. The world's leading lean and agile thinkers together articulate 8 core competencies that they believe will differentiate leaders of the future. And these are innovation, strategic, excitement, tactical, communication, production, consensual, and delegation. So, in summary, servant leadership is an attractive, effective, and proven approach that should be the choice for those interested in transformation at an individual and...
If you observe, okay, I think you got some clue about what they're telling here. Tell me a couple of points you found in servant leadership in this video. Did you find some interesting points? Empathy, something like that? Okay. Okay. Demonstrate innovation, listening. I think you got it. So Prashant put the point that listening, I think it's very important, right? Listening is one of the interesting point. Empathy is one, understanding from their perspective, right? Very interesting. And they're telling that if you're looking for transformation, then you have to go for it. Transformation is something like moving from what we had doing for a long time and getting a new mindset. So it's not something servant leadership you're used for a long time. It's hardly, we are talking this 30, 40 years. And this is there. If you go with PMP books recently, they came with the PIM 7th edition. They talk about stewardship. The first principle talks about be diligent and respectful stewardship. And I think, but this is all we see in spiritual books. If you go to every spiritual book, they'll talk about stewardship, servant leadership. Now, slowly they're making you as a saint. But point here is a humanization. How do you respect people value, or rather treating them like as slaves? As I gave you earlier, after the World War, even before the World War, humans were treated very rough and tough to make the job. That's the main reason sometimes men were pulled inside the job because the punishments are very heavy. Also, the work will be very heavy of lifting by physical energy and power. But now we are not doing that. Mostly all machinized or automated. So you may not need a great muscle power to do the work, whether the brain power is needed. But for that, don't take it for granted. Muscle work is not there. Still, it is there. The proportion is reduced. So when you work with the proportion of the people who have more brain level work, you cannot use the same method which you follow 100 years back in the time of World War. You have to follow what is new here. If you start thinking that you differ from what people are struggling these days in the market, you accept it. If a junior resource coming and questioning you something, you cannot feel your ego is being touched. You'll feel it's okay. That's the way they'll ask question. If you can answer it, if you can't answer it, give the way, let them go forward. If you get that thought process, all the parliament will be good, right? If that's not the case, then
organizational servant lead.
All right, quickly understand this and we'll go for a break. On the left, what you see, it's all project managers' skill. Okay, I'm sure some of the skills you would have seen already are known for you. Tell me which skill you like on the left most. There are a few skills other, which one you like, your favorite. You like something on cultural awareness, conflict management. You like it, conflict management. Okay. Okay. What other skills you like? Team building is one of the good skill. Okay. Servant leadership is also part of it. Networking, conflicting. Okay, very good. A lot of things coming up. I feel these all skills are needed for a leader or a manager to be there. But now tell me, can you possess all these skills within one shot, or will it take time? Will it take some time? Definitely take a good time in your life. It'll take longer time to achieve it. Expertise it, it's a lifetime it will take. For example, this conflict management, even though I read number of books, a number of ideas, still it take longer time, right? Observation is a good skill. Networking is a good skill. Meeting management, this itself is the biggest skill. If you can't handle the meeting properly, then it's called screwed up. Now, on that, we talk about something about servant leadership. Now, servant leadership is very common, and we just saw the video. Now, servant leadership talks about how an individual or a person who called as a leader helping the team. If you see here, if she is a servant leader, she is going to protect the team from unwanted distractions. Could be from the senior management, your customer directly coming in. Many times customer come in and distract the team, isn't it? So we try to shield the team from unwanted distraction. But regular communication should be there. Unwanted distraction we're avoiding. You clear up the blockers on the way. So being a servant leader, you protect the team from unwanted things so they can focus. Focus on what? Vision statement. If you see here, there is a vision. You will be a person to show them the vision, what they have to achieve, right? That happens. And when the vision is communicated to them, through the vision, they know what to achieve very well. Only thing, you have to protect them from unwanted things and clear the blockers on the way. Whatever help they need, you keep providing them the help. And this role is called a servant leader. And this may not be too different from what you're doing already. Maybe you're doing this already, or you would have seen somebody doing this. And this could be the part of managerial role along with all you what you see here. Don't think that this is the only role you will get all the job in the life. And some people feel that a scrum master role is a servant leader role. Yes, it is true. But that role, it's not alone covers everything in the project. There are more to do. So that's one of the portion of the things. But scrum master in IT industry is highly recognized because they are the one helping the team to move forward, because all are knowledge workers. They know what to do. Only you have to show the vision, show the path, clear the blockers, they will keep doing. Yeah, that's a message. Do you see servant leader in your corporate, or are you aware of servant leader? You're doing something like that. All right, if you do that, well and good. We will talk a couple of roles like a product owner and team in some time after the break. For now, let's take a break of 15 minutes and come back. People in the YouTube, thanks for the messages. I can see something about cultural awareness, ability to adopt. Sanjeev says listening. Tanvi says observation. Sanjeev says very good. Nice. Thanks a lot. What we'll do is we will take a 15 minutes break, refresh, have a breakfast or evening snacks, come back. We will continue. Thanks for being here. Hello, welcome back. Okay, hope the break was useful.
Yep.
Had some refreshment, feel good. Only when food get inside, you feel good, isn't it? That too, if you are in the morning hours. How are you managing if you are in the evening, late evening hours? Deepika, is it your dinner time?
Yeah, late. This is late.
What's the time right now?
Right now, it is about 8:45 in the
It should
evening.
be
So
a dinner time.
normally over here between 6:30 and 7:30 is dinner time.
All right, that's our snacks time usually. Okay. I know that's a different way of having food time. Okay, good. Was it the weather pretty cold or better now in the month of January?
January and February is supposed to be the worst, but right now we've got the Chinook wave. So we are having about +8, +10. Christmas week, we were at -32.
Very good. So when the season of Christmas time, would you switch off the refrigerator? Still it is on? And I was checking out when it is -32, still you have a refrigerator on at home?
Oh, yeah. Because the house is warm, right? So you need to keep the stuff in the fridge. But you can leave all your beer and everything outside in the balcony, no problem, or in the yard or on the deck. That's okay.
When it is -30, already you are in the refrigerator. So
no, the houses are quite warm.
Okay, that's interesting. Nice. Good to know. All right, let me kickstart. Let me see any queries for the people. Okay, there is a question to you, Deepika. Vaibhav is asking which location you are from.
Sorry?
I think there is a question Vaibhav asking which location you are from.
Oh, from Calgary, Alberta in Canada.
Canada, it's snow time. Okay, good time there.
Yeah.
All right, great. Let's kickstart. Let's get in. What I have to do, I have to bring up the content. Chip. PMI-ACP. Okay, kindly confirm audio, video, and screen share is good.
Yes, Shriram.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for confirming. Let's keep moving. Let's talk something more about some of the roles in project in Agile. Some of the roles, first thing I have to pick up is called product owner. This role is a very prominent role in the market right now. In fact, there are a lot of job demand for it. Who can go for product owner? A person who has a good business knowledge, who can get the voice of the customer. If you are a person like that, you can choose for this role. In this role, you will be highly focusing on the requirements to be given to the team who will do the work. You will refine the work to be done, right? You will set the vision to be achieved. Somewhat you are more business oriented person. You will think about economics, how early something to be delivered, the value of it. And you participate in the planning of the project. You will groom it. When I say groom, you refine the work to be done. Okay. You define acceptance criteria along with the team and verify that they have been achieved it. It's a team effort. It's a total team effort, but you will be part of it. You'll play the main role there, giving acceptance criteria. When you say something is working, on what criteria it is working. And you will check that when the work got completed. Is it meeting the standards? Is it meeting what they said will do? Collaborate with the development team regularly, every day, and collaborate with the stakeholders outside of your project team also. Could be your end user, could be your senior management, all other factors also you participate. The point here is the product owner is a very interesting role. However, it is you should have a business knowledge. If you don't possess the business knowledge, if you don't have the customer-centric thought process, we may not get into that role. That's not the role for us. So now this product owner, how to see is, this is happening from 1990s and 2000. They're expecting one person be in the premises of where the work is happening. If I pull out an example, let's imagine American Express is there. Now, American Express, they want to modernize their system. let's say modernization, okay, modernization of what? Could be of any banking system. Banking system, when I say, it could be for the retail business they're doing in the country where they are doing corporate business also. Shriram, what do you mean by retail and corporate? When you say corporate, this is a place you give salary to all the people. Also, you give some benefited cards. They call us platinum card or some credit cards they give to the people who are from the credit corporate segment. Retail people, you will even work for the loan for them. You will work for same credit card or savings account, something you'll do for them. Retail, people like you and me. Now, point here is, if American Express is doing this, somebody has to talk this business to them. To whom? Now, American Express want to give this modernization work to a company called, let's imagine, Infosys. They want to give it. Infosys is so top in the market, they want to give it to them. Now, Infosys, to have knowledge about banking, they're not done only for American Express, they're doing for Citibank, they're doing for some other banks in the world. They're aware of it. But that doesn't mean they will do everything on their own. If you're giving me this business in the year 1990s and 2000, American Express will give only the requirement to Infosys and go back to home. Infosys will complete all the work after 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and then they'll give it to American Express. This is a standard we followed years back. After Agile came into the picture, they said that let's not do that way. When the work is given, we will give a big picture. It's called vision. We'll give the vision, what to be achieved. Very clear, American Express should be modernized. That's very clear. But how am I going to achieve it? I'm going to achieve it segment by segment or release by release, increment by increment. To do that, I need a person to be regularly in touch with Infosys. Who is that? And that role is going to be the product owner. This product owner is capable of knowledge about retail business or corporate business, or there may be two product owners, one product owner for retail, one product owner for corporate. Could be there. It can give in further level, it can go down. Point is, this person possesses the good business knowledge. This person possesses the economic knowledge. When a work should be completed, when it has to go to the market, you should have that money factor or value factor when it has to be available. When the person possesses this, they start interacting. And American Express may send a person directly to Infosys to work with them, or they may give a proxy for it. Shriram, what do you mean by proxy? The product owner will stay only in American Express office in their head office, whereas Infosys will put one person here called as a business analyst, BA. Now, this BA will have daily communication with the product owner of American Express. When they do that regularly, they call as a proxy product owner. Have anyone heard that in your corporate, you have somebody called proxy owner? Have you? All right. So, you have this proxy product owners who work on these factors. Now, point here is you need somebody to talk about the business. However it is, this product owner is a person who is from the customer front, in the sense where the business is originating, right? So the business originates from the American Express telling that we want technology modernization, our mobile application, web application, ATM machines related work, all should be modernized. So they will reach Infosys for software, for a hardware, they will reach some other company. But point here is, who will explain the business? So explaining the business should happen from American Express. From American Express, I will have somebody called business owner, product manager, product owner. A lot of roles are there. In this, one of the prominent role, which will have a direct communication with the Infosys team, will be product owner, right? Mrityunjay is putting a question. Product owner from customer side. You are right. It's a customer side. We call as a customer representative who can talk the business to us. To give this clue, do you think, if you think this is a very new concept, I will say it's not a new concept. It's there for a long time. Many businesses have followed this, that they will send a representative from their company to be in that place. But officially, it started getting very famous after Agile came into the world in the year 1990s and 2000. They started seeing the more value. For example, when you saw the principles, one of the principles is satisfy the customer. How you will satisfy the customer? Only a product person being there in your business and explaining every day, also understanding you are delivering value. Then the satisfaction level starts going higher. All right, hope you got some idea of the role called product owner. Okay, let's go a little more, understand other roles. there is a role called team. Okay. Now, when you talk about the team, let me put something here. Functional, common functional expertise. What you here, when you form a team will have something like this. An analyst will be there. A testing team member will be there. A core engineer or development team will be there. Now, these days are there years back. Years back, at least I have seen, we'll call functional departments. We will do the work from development and so analyst team will do the base analysis, hand over to the development team. Development team will complete the work and hand over to testing team. Testing team will complete the work and hand over to the deployment team. This is how I have worked till 2012 or 13. After that, things started changing. How it started changing is, from this each functional, we pull some people and form a team. And that team is called as a cross-functional team. What do you mean by cross-functional? So this team is capable of doing certain things, what they can do. As per the books of Agile, you can see this team is capable of defining the work. Define the work. What is defining? Elaborating what to be done, right? Then they're capable of developing the work. Develop. They're capable of testing the work. They're capable of deploying the work. What do you mean by deploying? Final closure. So they can define, develop, test, and deploy. They have a capability of doing this. When I say this team could be a size of 3 to 9 people, core engineers, plus 2 people, scrum master and product owner. And this is a team, 3 to 9 people. They are a ability to do the work on their own. Shriram, why 3? Why can't it be 1 person? 1 person is not called as a team. Also, when you have 1 person, you will not have this cross-functional. At least 3 people can give a decent cross-functional. More than 9 looks a little bigger team. Maybe you have to form another team. There is no hard rule. You can have 12-member team. It's possible. Some companies still have 15, 18 members. A decent size is 3 to 9 core engineers plus 2 people. It's a decent team to manage. Now, this team, when I say cross-functional, either they possess all the knowledge from different group of people, or even 1 person can have multiple knowledge. We call T-shaped. A T-shaped person has knowledge in multiple segments, apart from one area having a depth of knowledge. Right, that's about the team size. So now you saw something called product owner. First, you saw something called servant leader, the scrum master kind of a role. Then you saw something called product owner who talks business. Now you saw something about the cross-functional team. When these all come together, they start serving value to the customer, right? Let's see something about how the work planning happens. I'm doing all this groundwork before I go to the depth of the subject so that you get more interesting to listen to this. Now, whatever you saw so far as principles, 4 values, you saw something about the team proportion, you got some idea. Now we have to see how an agile project works. Let me give some points. There is one misconception again. Agile means they don't plan anything. They will work haphazard. If you think like that, we have to slightly change the way you think. I pulled out an example of American Express. Here I'll take an example of some shopping cart. Imagine there is a shopping cart should come to the market, sk.com or something, shoppingcart.com, something. Okay. Now, this project has to come to here, and this is a very agile project. How they're going to do is, after the sitting and analyzing the work, they found a bunch of backlog items at the highest level. Backlog means list of work to be done. They found it. After they found a bunch of backlog, they found these are some work are Excel, extra large, some are medium, some are small. How do they say this? We will talk about this in the classes as we move forward. But for now, they made some estimation. This can be bigger, smaller, large percentage. When they put nearly 24 items together, that became release number 1. When they put another 14 items together, that became release number 2. Shriram, what is 24? What is 14? Could be number of work to be done. So Shriram, do you think we are planning very elaborately? No. At present, we know 24 plus 14, nearly 38 items we have to deliver. In future, 38 can turn into 48. In future, 38 can turn into 28. Possible. It can go high, it can go down. For now, when you want to come with a shopping cart going to be a web system. In this web system, they can do groceries purchase and dress materials. This to be done. Now, for this, there are few features to be implemented. This is a high-level discussion will happen as per the SOW, statement of work or a contract. After this, there'll be something called project charter. Whatever you do in a regular project, same happens for Agile project. You have a SOW, you have a project charter, and you have a high level detail. Sometimes you call as a vision what need to be achieved. This is all very clear. But the only thing we will not do in Agile project is we will not elaborate this 38 features completely. We won't do that. In a usual project, we'll take this 38 features and elaborate it. And we'll create something called work breakdown structure. We'll do WBS and we'll start talking each piece of WBS work package carefully to see how much of risk involved, how much of time involved, how much of cost involved. We'll understand very carefully. The reason being is only when you do this, you can estimate the project properly. Since this is agile in nature, since we follow simplicity, the art of maximizing amount of work not done, we won't try to do everything at beginning itself, but we will have a rough idea. If somebody asks me how long it will take to complete this sk.com, I will tell by the release 1, release 2, we will complete it. In release 1, we will give you 24 features to be delivered. In release 2, we will complete 14 features to be delivered. So how the next level of work happens? The next level of work is in this 24 features, the team will pick up 2 top features and start working in a sprint number 1. This is sprint or iteration number 1. And this could be sprint and iteration number 2. This is number 3, number 4, number 5. So when the team starts the work, they will not plan all the sprint, which we do in a traditional way. In agile way, we will plan only for first 2 sprints. The rest of the sprint, I'll have only 1 line of definition what to do. Coming up sprints, I don't have anything. Why I'm doing this is I'm purposefully doing this. It doesn't mean we don't want to. We can do. If I want to sit and talk 24 features elaborately for the shopping cart, I can do. But that doesn't make sense. For me, this portion of 5 sprints is called as MVP, minimum viable product. In this 5 sprints, I will make 1 web page, and this web page will have user ID and password to log into the shopping cart. After that, people can buy some grocery basic item, not advanced item. This is called MVP. And this will go in, imagine this sprint is 2 weeks of time, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 5 into 2, 10 weeks of time. This MVP will be achieved in 10 weeks. 10 weeks goes by how many months? Could be hardly, can somebody tell me 10 weeks, how many months? 10 weeks could be how many months? 2.5 months? 2.5 months. In 2.5 months, my shopping cart sk.com is available in the website. But Shriram, you said I'm going to make sk.com. It's a big project. It should have 38 features to be delivered. I will not wait till this day to go to the market. I will go in this date itself, because even though I know 38 features are there, but I'm fine to proceed with what I have right now, which is called minimum viable product. So to recap to you, I'm going to talk more detail in depth in the class, but since I want to kickstart, I want to tell you, every project in Agile will have a vision, will have a goal, we will have a SOW, we will have a project charter, we'll have a high level plan in place, but they will not spend time to elaborate all the work in detail. The reason is the work may change in future. The work may not be needed in the future. For example, if I launch this sk.com in 2.5 months, people use it. When people use it, we have a feedback session. In the feedback session, people give a feedback. We don't like this. We like this. Based on their feedback, your upcoming work may modify. Your upcoming features will get added or removed. Can be. So when I come to release number 1, I would have covered a 6th week, 7th sprint, 8th sprint, 9th sprint, 10th sprint, 11th sprint, 11 sprints. If I do 11 sprints, it could be release number 1. Or sometime 11 is not sufficient. It will become 12. It will become 13, or it can be 9 also. So here you have to understand one thing. We do same like any project. There is no change except elaborating the work. We don't elaborate it. We'll wait. As the things keep moving, we keep adding. If somebody here want to tell that Agile doesn't have the plan, you are a misconception. Agile don't have document, misconception. Agile work in a haphazard way, misconception. Everything it's there. But only thing is we don't want to go very deep inside because this work is volatile. Things can change as per the market. So we'll move only when we get close to that. It's called progressive elaboration. You can see that in PMP books. In a scope management, there is a place called rolling wave planning. There is a place called progressive elaboration. If you have seen that, they are talking about these concepts. Do you got some idea? Some basic? All right. All right, very good. Okay, there is a question. Let me take this question. Can features developed in sprint 1 or 2 be removed by product owner after realizing they are no longer required? When you say removed, after it is developed and it is going to be launched to the market, is that right?
That's right, Sriram. So
possible.
It's initial stage, right, for sprint 1. So they may not have the required say business value that the feature would create, and maybe after 2 or 3 sprints down the line they realize, okay, probably. Yeah.
See, it is up to the business to decide which is useful or not useful. If you watch out in Zoom we have a lot of features. Many features are added and removed without your notice. You don't even know that. We know ideally mic is there in the Zoom. What you are seeing right now, you have mic, you have stop video, you have annotation. Some features are there. Some features they will add, some they'll remove because certain things they'll feel it's not useful. They'll keep getting the feedback, try it out, that's how doing. But once a product reaches a very maturity level, they will not haphazardly remove and add. That will give a bad name to them. So they'll be very careful on it. There is a new product, something recently coming to the market. Many things will keep on changing, adding, that will keep on happening. It's highly possible. But your addition removal should not derail your project. That is called economic mindset of the product owner. There they have to make a decision. Hope that helps you. All right, little more addition towards that what I discussed. Okay, little more decision is something about the releasing thing. Now, just a highlight continuing towards what we discussed earlier. Your project is getting initiated. As I gave a clue earlier, we will have something called SOW. This is again another misconception. Agile projects will not have contract. Agile project will not have project charter. Agile project will not have sponsor. I don't know from where we get all this thought process. Everything, everywhere it is there. Without that, nothing will happen. So we'll have a proper sponsor. We'll have a SOW. We will have a stakeholder register, RACI matrix. Everything will be there. You have to do it, right? As I said earlier, Agile projects will not go depth discussing certain things, if not everything as usual. Okay, nothing to worry. So now release planning happens. I showed you release plan. I showed you release 1 and release 2. Let's imagine release 1 going to be done. Release 1 takes 11 sprint. That's what we saw there, right? Here, let's see a small level. Now, iterations or iteration, whatever language you pronounce, iteration or iteration, it's going to happen. Shriram, what is sprint? Iteration or sprint? Both are same. Sprint comes from the methodology or a framework called Scrum. In general terminology, in Agile, we use the word iterations. If you go to scaled Agile, they won't use the word sprint. They'll use the word iteration because scaled Agile uses a general terminology. They will not go to the model. If you are only a person who's certified into Scrum related activities, then you will usually talk the word sprint. If you are a generalized Agile person, you will use the word iteration. So this is a interchangeably used word. Nothing to worry. Both are same. Okay, Prashant is asking what is features, themes, FX, user stories. It is too early, Prashant. You have to wait for some more time. I have to go to some place and explain. Not now. For your information, that's all requirements. If you have a requirement documentation, that is what you are saying right now. I'll explain to the place when I go. Okay. Okay. So let's move a little more. When the work getting kickstarted, how does it work? The work works like this. The first sprint or iteration is called as a iteration 0. Usual Agile methodology, they follow this. Some of the books say that we don't need it, but a general decent way is starting with iteration 0. Iteration 0 is to make the ground ready. What do you mean by ground ready? Usually in Agile projects, work will start. The moment work starts, on the first week, you have to deliver value. What do you mean by value? Something usable. If I say sk.com, within 2 weeks, at least you should have something. At least user ID and password login should be ready. Should be ready. This screen at least should be there. That at least should happen in the beginning. Something value oriented should be delivered all the time. Value should come out. So if that's the case, when you will set up your environment, when you will set up the groundwork, if you ask me the question, I don't know, Shriram, when I will do that. For that reason, we'll have something called iteration 0. Here, we will set up the ground. What do you mean by ground? Getting the license, computers, access to the system, doing some proof of concept, will it work or not, some research. These all happen in the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, however you want. It's called iteration 0, setting the ground. I think it's a very decent one. Most of the project which I work, that's how it is. We set the iteration 0 to do the ground. Only when the ground is ready, work starts. When they say work starts, whatever Prashant said here, feature, theme, epic, all code come inside. Let's talk what work later. For now, understand, work comes in, you do iteration 1, iteration 2, again 3 also you deliver value, 4 also you deliver value. But when you complete 4 iteration, maybe your screen is ready. You will show all the grocery items in the screen. People can choose it and they can buy it. Imagination. Then what is iteration number 5 or H? H stands for hardening. What you mean by hardening is, as how you start the work, you have to close the work. Closing means here you can do knowledge transfer. You can record some of the information. You can also fix some of the major things which has to go to the production. You will do some of the small activities to close it. Ideally, it's a closing process. You properly close it and hand it over. A good agile project works like this. Starts with some basic, close with proper way of handover. In between, lot of values will happen. Here, the example given as a 4 iteration. In a bigger project, it can be 15, it can be 20. I have even worked with the 56, 60 iterations. Could be there. 60 iterations means big. 1 year, 2 year time, it's keep working, right? So this is a general idea for you how an agile project works. Once again, I'll tell you, this is also a plan. If somebody feels that agile don't have a plan, this is a plan. But Shriram, do you think exactly 4th iteration will close? Not necessarily. It can expand. It can shrink depending on the requirement changes, depending on the customer necessity. Are you good? Are you with me? Are you listening well?
Shriram, I have a question here. And that is about that iteration 0. So that is also time boxed and
yes,
or yes. It is?
Everything is time boxed in Agile. You cannot go without time. So you have to decide, imagine your team decides we'll work in a 2 weeks iteration for the whole project. If they decide 2 weeks iteration, first iteration will be used for this purpose. In that case, 2 weeks. If your team decides we'll work in a 4 weeks iteration, maybe they'll use 4 weeks here. Or sometimes they tell that we may not need 4 weeks, 1 week is sufficient for us, but time should be finalized. Without time boxing, time fixing, you will not start anything in Agile. Hope that's clear.
So where does the planning for the sprints fit then, for the overall product fit?
You do a release plan, then only come here. You did a release plan, what I showed in the previous screen. You do it and then only come here. And every 2 weeks work, they'll do a plan here. It will be 4 hours of time they spend. Again here, 4 hours of time. Again here, 4 hours of time. Exactly. You will do a small.
Yeah. And then for the iteration age, what really, I'm still not clear on that iteration age.
Here,
please explain.
Yeah, no planning needed here. It is only handover going to happen. Sprint or release sprint, you're going to release it in the sense, final closure where you will do knowledge transfer, any fix to be done, any promotion to be done from one box to another box. Specifically in IT, they call us a pre-production, production. They call about some final fix to be done. It's a kind of a proper handshake and handover happening in the hardening sprint. Here, you no need to deliver any new concepts or new features. You won't do that. You will wrap the pack, you parcel it and hand over.
Like a project closing?
Yes.
A sprint closing or something, yeah? Okay, thank you.
Yes, can happen. But this, they give us a very small image, but it won't end up like this. You will have more releases going on. In fact, when release 1 is done, they'll hand over, again, next release will start. Again, next release will go. Once all the releases are done, we'll go for a project closeout. telling that officially we'll close the project. This is a handover of the work. Then comes a closer. Closer is official contracting, because you have to go through the contract system until work has been completed, handover has been done, then they shut down the contract. But here it is about the work handover. You hand over the work what has been completed.
Okay,
Is it better?
I also have one query. So during release planning phase, do we do a very high level planning of all the sprints or only initial sprints?
Oh, maybe you missed it. Did you miss a few minutes back?
Yeah, I just joined. I had to drop in between.
If you missed a little bit, in the previous slide, I was explaining something here. If you see here, if it is release 1, if it is release 2, even though I know what I have to do in 1 and 2, I will not sit and elaborate all the iterations here. These small boxes are iteration. I will do only for the first iteration, second iteration, third a little bit, fourth a little bit, fifth a little bit. Rest I'll be blank.
Okay.
I can do, but I don't want to do. Why? Why I don't want to do?
Because the requirements are not very clear at that time.
You can do, right? You can go and talk to the customer. Customer will explain you, but still you don't want to do. Why?
Because feedback will come and then we might have to change the requirement and
Things
design.
will change. Things will change. See, 24 features are here. It won't take much time for me to sit and talk with this customer. Can you explain it? At least customer can explain me 22 features. No one is bad, right? They have knowledge. They can explain me. I'm doing something called sk.com, which is a shopping cart. Shopping cart is all over the world. We can go with a benchmark and explain it. But the customer says that it's okay. This shopping cart I'm going to apply in the European market. With the European market, we are very new. So let's not elaborate too much. Take first 4 or 5 features, deliver it. Let's do this 5 iterations and we call it as minimum viable product. When you're coming to 5th iteration or 4th iteration, I will explain something more here. They will do that. It's called progressive elaboration. Got that?
Yeah. So basically, after every sprint, in the 4 hours of time, we do more refinement of those plans.
Yes, it'll happen. We sometimes call it as N plus 2 or N plus 3. What it means is, this is your N current. This is a sprint your team is currently working. When this is there, your team will have another 2 sprints ready to work. I mean, the content is ready. 2 sprints means 2 weeks plus 2 weeks. Nearly 1 month of work is ready with you. When you come to this place, already next 2 will be ready. And again, 1 month of work is ready for you. So it's called N plus 2. Some companies do N plus 3. They'll have 3 sprints ready with them. It depends. Depends on the maturity of your team. Depends on the maturity of the customer. But don't tell me that Shriram 24 features, we don't know anything, that's why we're waiting. No, you can if you want. But then what's the purpose of your talking Agile? Agile means reflex. Agile means flexible. If you do everything right away, then you go to the predictive way. That's the reason they do the process.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay, let me move a little more. There is a question here. Srish is asking, Rajesh is asking, can we say phase gate like? You don't want to use a phase gate. Phase gate is approval basis, right? In predictive approach, we have something called phase gate. Phase gate means once this is not cleared, you will derail it. Here, Agile doesn't work like that. That you do in every week, every iteration. Every iteration, customer is getting a demonstration of the work. And then only it moves to next level. Then again, you do demonstration here. So you do regularly, then you don't need a phase gate. It keep moving forward. And then Shri is putting a question. Sprint H happens after sprint review. Okay, when you say sprint review, this is called review. Shri, if you understand this, every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, there is a demonstration. It's called review. For information, I said user ID and password, user ID and password. Okay, this screen is generated by the team for the sk.com. This will be demoed on first iteration. Imagine there are 10 days of work. 10th day evening, you will demonstrate. Who will watch it? The product owner. The product owner will sit and watch. When you give a user ID and password, it will go to the next page. Nothing worked on the next page, but this will work. Then they see that in the first week, first iteration. Once this is completed, they'll say, good job. Let's go to the next one. So sprint review means keep looking how things are. Imagine it's not working properly. Imagine the ask is not Just log in. They want a two-way authentication. What is two-way authentication? After I give the password, it should ask for OTP. That is not done here. Now the customer says, no, I didn't ask for this. I'm asking for two-way authentication. So feedback comes back. Here, this demo is a failure. Now, next sprint starts. Either the same work can come here, some other work can come here. It depends. It depends on the priority of what product owner want. Let's not do too much in the first day itself. I'll talk this when I go to requirement area. For now, understand this is how things move forward. So H is a place when the project getting closed or a release getting closed. Hope it's better.
Sriram,
Arjuna is
Chan
asking.
here. Sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Chan here, Sriram. So my question is very specific between these iteration 0 and iteration 1. So iteration 0, like most of the work is like working on the groundwork, setting up the environment and all. But from a product owner point of view, what will the product owner do during this sprint 0 phase? Will he be working on the backlog refinement or backlog work?
You have to. When the team is busy here, two people are very busy in other factor. The two people are product owner and Scrum Master. What they will do? They will start putting things in the backlog. Get ready. In fact, you did a release plan already, right? Release plan tells that how many items to be done for the next 5 iterations. On what basis you do that? You have some items in the list. So now the product owner responsibility is choose which is a high priority. 3, 4. Why they have to choose a priority? Once the iteration 0 is done, the team will start the first iteration. When they want to start the first iteration, they need something called sprint backlog. Then what is this? This is called product backlog. Okay, this is product backlog, which has all the work. Sprint backlog is here. So here team will pick up the priority. Here we say 1, 2, 3, and 4. These 4 items will be picked for this sprint. Once this is over, meantime, again, the product owner has to work out. Work out on what? Next set of priority. This is next 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, another sprint backlog will happen here. Set of items. Yeah, sprint backlog life will be only for that sprint. Once that sprint get over, dissolved. Again, next set of work, dissolve. Next set of work, dissolved. This is how they keep on moving. Okay. Does it give some idea?
Yep.
All right. Mrityunjay is asking, without a handover, can't go to next release. Why do you want to do that, Mrityunjay? Can I understand from you? Without a handover, why you want to move?
Because both the releases are not interlinked. So if it is a delay or something taking a time, then we can go for the next release start.
Right. If your release is not major release, you can use a word like this: major release, minor release. If it's not a major release, you may not need to do a handover. Minor release, yes, you keep on going forward. Yeah, I got your point. Super good. Let's take a question. Okay, so some people are on the YouTube. Let me watch YouTube. Kapil says, what are the metrics we need to consider before start the work? Matrix. What do you mean by matrix? I'm not getting you. XP says iteration. Okay. Hardening equal to UAT for the sprint. Kapil, I think every time when you do a demonstration, that's a kind of UAT. Okay. You don't need a separate thing. Hardening, I said handover. Handover means fixing lots of things and documenting, knowledge transfer. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, right. Very good. Fine. Good. Thanks. Consultant Cyber. You explained well. I like the name, Consultant Cyber. Okay, there is a question here. Which of the following Agile Manifesto principles reflect the Agile focus on team empowerment? So you have to find out which is focusing on encouraging the team. Let's go by the bottom. Build projects around motivated individuals. Look like some individual focus. Look like people focus. Maybe the answer. Let's see. See, simplicity, the art of maximizing amount of work not done. It's talking about the work, not about the team or people. Welcome changing requirements even late in development. Again, here it's about the requirement, not about the people. Working software is a primary measure of progress. It's talking about the measurement, not about the people. So if you see the whole answers, one answer is the what talking more about the people, which talks about build projects around motivated individuals. Can somebody tell me what is the principal number? Odd number, even number? Shriram, it's not a Delhi traffic, man. Like a Delhi traffic, you're asking odd number, even number. Okay. It's a principle number 5, which talks about build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. Super, right? Very simple. You tell that, hey guys, you do the job. We will give you whatever you want. They complete it. That's a really good trust at them. Yep, let's move. Okay. Harinder is putting a pointing. Hardening sprint is an anti-pattern. Okay, Harinder, where you read this? If you read in some sprint books or Scrum books, that's for the Scrum methodology. We are talking for the whole Agile. Okay, we are talking superset. Even for sprint 0, there are some Scrum and sprint books tell that sprint 0 is not needed. But when you see logically, these are needed. Okay. And she's telling that I read it as anti-pattern. This is not needed. And also the book says that this is not needed. This is for the people who follow only Scrum methodology. We are talking something for Agile. We are talking for whole Agile, Kanban, XP, right? Lean management. This is the best methodology followed in the Agile factor. But there is no force. If you don't like it, you can remove it. But they're telling these are the best practices.
Okay, so Shriram, is it like if the question is asked with respect to Scrum, then hardening sprint is not recommended, otherwise it is? Agile
ACP exam, you have to understand, it's a superset of all. So they'll always talk at the very best practice of Agile.
Okay.
When you read a Scrum and other factors, there are subset, there are small kindergartens. They talk at that level. So we should not go by them. We should go by the top level.
Superset. Okay. Thank you.
I should go by that. Exam is always more on that. If you see the best certification in the world, ACP comes in the top. The reason is they talk at the high level. But all these methodologies will talk only respective to their level. If you work in that methodology, they say that in your company, well and good, follow that. But when it comes to certification, they follow what certification says. Okay. That's safe for us. Right. Very good. Gaurav is asking for you. Gaurav, can I assume that you missed a few minutes of the class? Okay. I'm hearing the difference between sprint H and retrospective. Okay. Retrospective may not happen at H, right? Retrospective, where it will happen? Will it happen the sprint or separate sprint? What is your thought? Okay. So if you don't know about it, let me give a little highlight for you. Every sprint should have a retrospective immediately. You cannot take it forward. Okay. Anyway, I'll go back again for the benefit of all. So now Gaurav is asking, what is the difference between retrospective and H? Retrospective means it should happen here itself. I cannot carry that here, right? So whenever a sprint happens, here itself retrospective happens. Again, for this iteration, here it will happen. Again, here it will happen. Here, you do lessons learned of a whole, isn't it? You do retrospective, but lessons learned of whole. But each iteration should happen. That's a message. Hope you got that. You are clear now. All right, very good. Very good, very good. Okay, let's kickstart. All right, man, it's almost 10 o'clock. Eh? Scrum should have been started 2 hours before, 1 hour before. Okay, that's okay. Let's start submitting about Scrum. Scrum is one of the best methodology in the world, or they call us a Scrum framework. Many people think that Scrum is made only for software engineering. All the software guys put the collar up and say that, man, we made it. If you feel like that, Scrum came from manufacturing industry. Seriously, it's from manufacturing industry. Whatever you're using today, these are all from construction and manufacturing industry. Since IT industry picked up, utilized it properly, it got a super boom. If not, what you see is from 1986 came up. That too from the paper written from sports industry. I talk about how a rugby works. Okay, the software development industry has an agile methodology to counter establish waterfall style. Waterfall style was a little tougher. Then they picked up something on this factor. Jeff Sutherland originated the first Scrum project in 1993. So he picked up something like this, right? Now, IT is a baby industry. You cannot tell IT is bad. IT picked up in 1970s and 80s, baby industry. But one good thing about IT is, I really like that, is they adopt anything good in the market. You talk about automation, innovation, process, people improvement, anything IT will adopt. That is a return. IT is still growing. Any industry which cannot adopt the model will fail. And that's the only reason IT is still growing higher and higher. The reason is they adopt anything new. Today, something newly comes, they'll adopt it. For example, scaled agile. They start adapting. Today, scaled agile. Another 5-6 years, something will come, they'll adopt it. The more something can adopt, it will grow. Because this IT industry totally based on knowledge workers. You see the difference? Some industry grow pretty faster, some can't go pretty faster because this is purely knowledge workers. The young generation are highly attracted here because it's only knowledge effort. I'm not telling other industries is bad. I'm telling why it's so vibrant, why it's moving forward. Some pitfall also is there. Some bad things also there. Let me not go there. But I'm telling this industry attracts faster. Okay, now let's go to the Scrum methodology. Okay. Jeff Sutherland is the person who came up with this. Let's go to the Scrum. In Scrum, there are three important pillars are given. They call us, one is transparency, inspection, adaptation. Okay, you no need to memorize this for the exam. Understand that you need to have some transparency in what work we do. You have your information radiator. You open up with the customer of what work is happening. Oh, customer is also open with us what need to be done. Right? We have a very transparent way of doing things. You inspect regularly and adapt regularly. If these two are not happening, it's not called Agile. If it's Agile, means you have to inspect and you have to adapt. How frequently you want, you have to do that, right? So these three things are called pillars of Scrum. When I say pillars of Scrum, that's a belief system. When you have transparency, inspection, adaptation, continuously improve. Same can apply for your personal life. In a personal life, if you have good transparency of what you do with your family members, with your friends, your life is smooth. You regularly inspect and adapt how you want to improve. If this thing is acceptable, you are in a Scrum methodology already. Apart from these three pillars, we have something called values. Now, what is values here? This is again another belief system. You know why you keep telling belief system? As I would have given a clue, every country or every religion or every group, if you go, they have their own belief system, right? If I want to go to mosque will have some belief system. This is how you have to pray. If you go to church will have some sort of belief system. That's how you have to follow. If you want to go by that, you have to believe it. If you don't believe it, it don't work. If you keep counter arguing, nothing will happen. Better get away from there. Don't be there. That's a simple thing. So many people come to Agile, start counter arguing. Why not this one? If you don't like it, that's it. People don't say, don't do that. Go away. You can find another way. But if you come here, you have to follow that. You cannot be half away. You put your leg here and a tail there, it won't work. So I request people when they come to the system, read it completely, accept it and follow it. If not, don't touch it. It's better and safe for you. Now here they tell that when you want to do Scrum, you have to have a courage. Scrum teams member have a courage to do the right thing and work on tough problems, because mostly Scrum is used for complex and complicated problems. Very toughest thing which cannot be solved can be done by Scrum or Agile. So they go by courage. The second one, C talks about commitment. People personally commit. If you tell this will be done in 2 weeks of time, 3 weeks of time, you commit to that. You commit to the goal to be achieved. So you have a courage to take a risk. You have a commitment to do what you say. Now you keep your focus on that. Everyone focus. Look at the word everyone. On the work of the sprint and goal of Scrum team. It is not only a manager has to focus. Technical lead has to focus. Here, team focus. The whole team will focus on what to be achieved. Respect. I think this is an interesting word. In the 1990s and 2000, this was highly needed by the time, even today. Scrum team members respect each other to be capable, independent people. You respect their value. You don't treat them by the tag, senior manager, lead, architect. No. You respect by their value what they can do, what is they capable of. It's called cross-functional team. You respect each other. You respect your customers' feedback. You respect the input of what your team members giving, ideas, thought process, technical factors. And the final thing, keep it open. The Scrum team and its stakeholders agree to be open about all the work and the challenges with performing the work. It's very open. You will not keep it hidden. That's the reason we have something called a daily Scrum. What is daily Scrum? We call daily stand-up, DSU. In daily stand-up, people talk about openly what is happening. There is no hidden. Yesterday I did this. Today I'm going to do this. This is my blocker. Nowadays, we easily tell this is a blocker, right? 10, 15 years back, you cannot tell that. If you tell that, they tell you are incapable. If you tell this is not working, they'll tell, man, you have to fix it, man. That's why we recruited you. Nowadays, they don't tell that. When you say it's a blocker, okay, what could be the reason? Can somebody help you? Yeah, this guy can help me. Oh, okay, you please. Beyond that, yeah, you have to do that. But at least you have that openness to tell, I have a problem. You have the guts to tell there is a problem. You have the guts to tell, I can move forward. I'm stuck. I remember my initial stage of career, I've sat in one solution or one problem more than 2 weeks. I couldn't resolve it. I don't know whom to ask. Those days, it will be only the project manager, give the work to you, they'll go away. You have to complete it. Those days in the corporate where I work, no internet browsing allowed. By the way, I worked in Verizon. In Verizon, for security reason, those days not mobile allowed, internet browsing not allowed. Sure, without internet browsing, how you work? Yeah, that's how it is. You have to work. You should have your own knowledge. If not, you can't work. They don't allow Google or anything by the time. So now, if I don't know, I have to sit in the same place. I don't know whom to talk, what to say. More than a week or 2 weeks, I was sitting ideal. I feel suffocated. I feel bad of myself, feeling why I'm going to office. After 2-3 weeks, I spoke to one guy and he easily explained. I'm talking junior level, a small issue. But that could have been fixed if I'm open for every day in a daily stand-up, tell there is a problem. Somebody can give an answer. Time delay can be reduced. So Scrum is telling guys, be open, be courageous, be committed, be focused, be respectful. That's it, simple. I think it's a very interesting value. This is part of your 12 principles of Agile. The English words are different, but it is the same. So we have 5 values and 3 pillars in Scrum. Can you quickly write down in a paper what you have and tell me done? Even though you know already, please write it down once. Let's see, people in the YouTube, you can also write it down. The 3 pillars: transparency, inspection, adaptation. And then comes 5 values: courage, focus, commitment, respect, openness. Give me done once you're written down. Very good. Right, all right. Very good. Thanks for doing that. Okay. All right. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it. Let's move a little more. Good, 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 good. Let's see some of the Scrum practices, what we follow inside the Scrum. By now in the world, Scrum is being highly popularized and many people are aware of certain things. For example, daily stand-up, people are aware of it. Let's see some of the roles and activities. Roles, I have given a clue a few minutes back. Product owner is a representative from the customer. Scrum master is a servant leader. Development team is to execute the work. It's a combination we learned already. So 3 roles are there. Apart from this, any other role are there? I will say no. These are the roles sufficient enough. The team size can be 5 to 11 people if we include all these 3 guys. If not, it will be only 3 to 9 people, the core engineers. Okay. Shriram, is it a hard rule? No. Shriram, other book says this number, this book, that number. In Agile books, this is a number. It can be plus or it can be minus. That's okay. Nobody pushes you. Now, what are the activities can be done? Before go to the activities, let's see what are the outcome will come when we do the sprint or Scrum. The outcome will be artifacts. Artifacts are nothing but outcomes. Outcome is one is product backlog. Shriram, what is product backlog? Product backlog is nothing but collection of requirements of your project. Collection of requirements on that particular point of time. In this point of time, I have these many requirements. Stack of items. Items keep on coming. Item 1, 2, 3, 4 all coming. The priority will be set like this. The high priority will be here. The low priority will be here. Who does it? Who does it? Can somebody tell me? Who will do it? Who will do it? It will be done by the product owner. Very good. This is what done. From where product owner get this information? If it's American Express will have somebody called business owner. Sorry? Customer. Or your company will have a business owner. American Express will have a business owner, or sometimes you call us product manager. From here, get it. From where they get it? They may get from the end user. End user in the market. In the market, they get it. This is also called as voice of customer. Have you heard about voice of customer? POC. Voice of customer, general feedback, all will happen. From the business people get. Business gives to PO. PO gives here. This is how it is. High, mid, low will happen. Okay, very good. Then another artifact, what is expected? I said if there are a few sprints, every sprint will have a sprint backlog. sprint backlog. Another sprint backlog. Another sprint backlog. A sprint backlog life is only up to that sprint. Once the sprint get over, you will close it. If any item pending here will come back here. I'll talk a little later about it. For now, sprint backlog is another artifact. Another interesting artifact is output, potentially shippable product. I said there is a sk.com. In sk.com, I will give a clue that there is a web page which will have user ID and password. Okay. This is a potential shippable. This is another artifact. Okay. If somebody worried about documentation, this is all the documentation. This is all your information. This is all recorded. This is all stored. So we have it. Now you have people to do, you know what is going to come out. Now, how to make this happen? So we have to have some time box activities. Time box activities. The time box activities is what you're going to see here. I see many people are highly focused on this. It's okay. This is very important. Beyond that, you should also understand people is very important. You have to form a proper people team. You should know the outcome, what is going to come. When you know people, when you know the outcome, then these activities make sense. If these people don't have agile knowledge, they are a mechanical agile people. Shriram, what is mechanical agile people? There is something called being agile and doing agile. Okay. In this case, tell me which one is doing agile? What is doing agile? Can somebody tell me? What is doing agile? Yeah, focusing only on activities. Every day morning, stand up. Everyone will stand. In school days, I used to go for the prayer. There is school prayer. Have you know the school prayers? Morning 9 o'clock. Huh? The hot sun. Pah. I was doing agile for so many years. I never know what I'm doing in the prayer. Very honest. I'm so bad student, standing in the last row. Okay. Just be there. Why this prayer? Actually, later I understood prayer is meant to think good for myself, think good for the society, so that my reading habits will be good. Maybe the teacher said that I didn't listen. I didn't get it. I'm a bad student. Now, if you're doing everyday morning, daily stand-up, sprint planning, sprint execution, sprint review, you're too much of worried about only the activities. You are like me, a student standing on the prayer. If you want to be a very efficient person, if you know what is agile, why we do that, and if you are really a product owner, really a scrum master, really a development team, really you want to bring a product backlog, really you want to bring the potential shippable product within the time, now you make sense of being agile. You work towards being agile, following the 12 principles and 4 values. If not, you are a mechanical person like me, standing in the last line in the prayer when the prayer will get over. How many of you feel that in this activities you sometimes felt or your team felt when this meeting get over? Is that happening? In the name of stand-up meeting, every day it goes 15 to 35, 40 minutes. Does it happen? It's happening. Many companies, they're just telling that Scrum meetings only 15 minutes, but it goes 45 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Arguments, conflicts, fight, misunderstanding. Where is Agile? And I'm working in Agile. I'm working in Agile. Where are you working in Agile? You're mechanical, like me, a student standing in the prayer, last line. Doing that. Don't do that. So let's understand what it is. So now, let's talk a little bit about what is here. We talk about something called a sprint. This is the daily sprint where we stand for 15 minutes to talk about it. Very sensible. If you don't have anything, don't open your mouth, keep quiet. If you have something, say straight away, straightforward, very honest, very open, very transparent, nothing hidden. Nobody can control you. There is no senior manager, junior manager. You are a knowledge worker. When you are a knowledge worker, she is a knowledge worker. When she is a knowledge worker, he is a knowledge worker. Everyone know what to do. You tell what it is. That's it. Over. Close. If any further argument, stop there. Let's do post-sprint discussion. Take it next, not now. Do sprint planning. I'll talk more about timing, not now. Sprint planning can go 4 hours of planning for 2 weeks of sprint. I'll give more detail later. Daily scrum, yeah, you do the daily scrum or daily stand-up. For the way, this is a sprint for all, this is for daily scrum. That is a daily stand-up. Sprint execution, you do. Sprint review, you do. Demonstration, retrospective, to look back how to improve better. product backlog grooming. I'll come to this activities fully little later. For now, understand, this is just a mechanical work. Mechanical work. I feel many people are stuck with this in the Outlook. In your Outlook, these all filled up. Sometimes you feel very bad, man, too many things. You feel, shakes, man, these guys are killing you. Every 2 weeks planning, we feel the pain. The reason is we didn't understand what is important, or your management did not understand, or your resources did not understand. The more you start use this word LOVE towards agile, you start being agile. When you start being agile, doing agile is not tough, easy. When you do only doing agile, being agile becomes very tough. When I learned this 10, 12 years back, I too felt somewhat crazy. What the hell these guys are telling, man? Look like crappy stuff, being agile, doing agile. But later, the more and more I read and more I felt closer and closer and closer, I felt, makes some sense. Then sometimes the planning closes within 30 minutes. So that, hey, 4 hours not needed, 30 minutes enough. You understood the concept, we understood what to do, done. Thanks a lot. 2.5 hours back to you. Have good fun, enjoy. Shriram, do we need to send a status mail? Who want the mail? We have the dashboard. I can see that. No mail. Shriram, I'm going off. I won't be in office for next 4 hours. Do we need to inform? No need to inform. One day a guy called me, Shriram, I'm going for a dental work. I won't be available for 6 hours. I asked him, why are you informing me? I thought you were a senior person. I would inform you. Why? You are a knowledge worker. You know what to do. You do dental. You do hair dye. You do anything. But you know what to do within that 10 days of time. It's okay. If you don't do it, don't do it. That's it. Next time you come to know how to do it. I'm not here to teach you. You know when to take leave. You know when to do the job. Next time, please don't call me when you're going out. That guy laughed loud. That's great. Please do it. I never got any complaint about that resource. Still now he's performing really good. He's a top performer. Never got a complaint. Only once I said, never inform me when you're going anywhere. Be free. What you want to do. That's it. But trust the right person. That's a problem, right? Choose the right person. That's what the book says, that principle number 5, right? Build projects around motivated individuals. See the motivation in their eyes. Are they motivated? Build the projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment, support the need. Trust them, they'll do the work. Trust them to do the work. Trust it. If they fail, yes, they fail. Johinda Sharma failed many times, but Dhoni trusted the last over, win the match for World Cup. Oh man, happened. Believe it will work. Somebody believed you. That's why you are in this company. Don't think you are a superstar. Sometimes you are also a failure. Somebody believed you. Is it so? When you're junior, so somebody believed you. That's why you're here. So educate them, motivate them, believe them, then you be there, same way they'll be there. This is very important on being agile. A lot of philosophy, man. Yeah, agile is philosophy. Agile is philosophy. Can I assume that you got some things about the roles, activities, and artifacts, even though we have to deep dive inside the artifacts later or activities later? Fantastic. Tanmi says that truly never end in 15 minutes. You two have the same pain, huh? Okay. All right. Somebody says, consultant says that stand up 15 minutes only in the books. You know what? We have to literally make these guys to stand and talk. Then only they will close in 15 minutes. All these guys are sitting in a sofa, very relaxed mode. They talk for 25 minutes. And when the stand-up is happening, that too with a virtual background now or virtual environment now, many people don't listen the call. Have you observed it? Call starts and everybody opens their WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Facebook, or some other office email. They do something else. And when their topic comes in, they will not talk. You have to ask them, hey, Ramesh, you there? You know what answer will come? Can someone tell me? Sorry, I was talking in the mute mode. Have you heard this dialogue? This is a standard dialogue now. The moment you hear it for a person once, that's okay. If a person keep telling in a week 3 or 4 times, is not a motivated individual. Motivated individual. Sorry, I am talking in the mute. How long you'll talk in the mute? With your wife or husband, you can talk in mute, not with us. This is project, man. You have to talk. You have to come forward. Try with your wife, talk in the mute. Huh? You will be permanently muted. Can you do that? You can't do it, right? You have to speak up. All right, this guy's a crazy guys. Okay, these are not motivated individuals. Anyway, we have to educate them slowly. First, we have to be educated. You do that. You do that. Yeah, man. Okay. We have another 10-15 minutes. We will see the sprint and we'll close the day. I'll show you what the sprint, how the sprint will work like. Okay. If your people are aware of the sprint, happy, let's listen how the sprint works. If you're not aware of it, listen to this. Somebody says virtual is painful. That's true, tough. That's a challenge you have to work out. All right, let's kickstart. Now, there is something called product backlog. Now, you have to answer me something. Who created this product backlog? Can somebody tell me? Who created it?
Product owner. Product owner.
Very good. That's a product owner. In our example, I said this guy comes from American Express. Very good. So this PO created this product backlog. And this guy has all the authority, all the rights to prioritize and reprioritize. You can see here, reprioritize and prioritize. You will insert it, remove it, all will happen. In Agile world, there is only one place you have all the requirements. That's called product backlog. Now, no other place you have to hunt. That's the best thing they did this. Okay, you don't need to chase any place. You have all in one place. Now, I'm going to explain only how a sprint works or iteration works. Deep dive and all we'll do as a class progress. For now, let's get an understanding how a iteration or sprint works. There are a bunch of items. It could be American Express or it could be sk.com. Okay, anything, you take it. And the top item should be started with the work execution. Now, how to start the work? Now, imagine the first sprint is going to start. A team is getting formed. A team is a size of 3 to 9 people getting formed. And imagine you are the scrum master for this. Very good, all good. Now the day going to start. When the day going to start, the team will sit and talk together. What they will do is that's called sprint planning. If it is a 10 days iteration, 10 days means 2 weeks. I'm taking this as a granted because majority of the organization now works in 2 weeks. Very few are there. They work in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 week. Other day I went for oil and gas company. They were working in 1 week iteration. They have a necessity like that. If not majority 2 weeks, if we go to SAFE, Scaled Agile, the basic thumb rule they follow is 2 weeks. Okay, I'll explain Scaled Agile in some time. Maybe next week or something, I'll show you how Scaled Agile looks. I want you all to learn Scaled Agile. Very important, going to be in future. Okay, now, if it's a 2 weeks of iteration or a sprint, they will do 4 hours for planning. Okay, there is a morning hours. They sit and talk 4 hours. What they will talk here is, just a minute. Okay, what they will talk in this 4 hours is, they'll ask or discuss with the product owner and with the team members, what are the key priority items to work out. Even though they have a lot of items here, from here, imagine there are some 5 items picked up from this. And they put into a place which is called as sprint backlog. They put into a sprint backlog. This, you have at least 5 items. What are the 5 items? Top priority 5 items to be done now. Shriram, only this 5 is needed, nothing else needed. Rest all needed, but not now. We'll do that later. But for now, important is first thing. If you go to the restaurant, first they'll give you soup and starter. Same way, main course needed. But this is what important for me right now. The 4 hours they'll discuss for this. It's not mandatory 4 hours. You can be reduced, increased, up to you. But 4 hours is a decent time for the 10 days of work. After 4 hours of work, a sprint backlog gets ready. In this sprint backlog, they have a clarity of what to done, who will do, all the stuff will be clear because you have a time size of 3 to 9 people. Now, the day starts. The morning 4 hours done, lunch they'll go, come back. That day they'll work half a day. Okay, 0.5 day they'll work. The next day morning, you will do something called daily stand up. This will be 15 minutes of time. In the 15 minutes of time, everyone here has the responsibility to talk about what they did yesterday, what they're going to do today, any blockers. Very simple. They will tell yesterday we did in the planning, I did some portion of the work. Today I'm going to do this. I need some clarity from Ganesh, Suresh, something like that. Again, next day will come. Again, they'll talk for 15 minutes. Again, next day, 15 minutes. By doing this, what is happening is the word transparency is followed. Okay. They also regularly inspect those and adjust accordingly. What work is happening overall. Here, no one has to give a status that overall project, what is happening. There are some people come in the stand-up meeting, talk about what team is doing. That is not the role. What you are doing. That's what you have to explain. You are not about team. And only for you, you talk about here. And generally, you talk about what it is. Sometimes you don't have any work, you keep quiet. You say that yesterday I was not in office. That's fine. Nothing is there. So you keep telling every day it's going on. Now it proceeds for the whole 10 days. On the 10th day morning also, you will talk. On the 10th day evening, what will happen is we have to look back. Have we achieved the 5 items which we said? Rather telling 5 items, now I'll give a terminology for you. They call as sprint goal. Sprint goal. They have written a goal that in this first 10 days, we will do, I'm taking sk.com. In sk.com, we will do a page which will have user ID and password. This is a goal. The goal will be one English line written that the team would be achieving user ID password for sk.com. That's a goal. In order to achieve the goal, 5 user stories will be there. User story will tell that as a user, I should be able to enter the user ID. As a user, I should be enter the password. Some user stories will be there. The team will work on this. They will do some programming, development. I'm taking software as a game here. I'm not taking any other industry. And when you come the last day, sprint review is going to happen. The review is to take the goal and check as per the goal, team will achieve the user ID password screen. Did they achieve it? That is what going to be demonstrated. Now, who will watch this demonstration? Can somebody tell me? Who will watch this demonstration? Can someone tell me?
Customer.
Customer. Who's our customer? The
Stakeholders.
The
Stakeholders, yeah.
Product owner. Nothing else. Product owner is sufficient. Here, the product owner gave you the priority. The same product owner will come on the 10th day, will watch. The person who came on the day 1, day 10 also the same person. In between also same guy, same person. Maybe needed, you can invite some more people. If you want to invite business owners, you can invite. If you want to invite product management team, you can invite. But mainly, product owner will be there. The point here is, you say the sprint goal is achieving user ID password. Now, have you achieved it? The demonstration happens. Team is running this. In this, a password segment is not working. Did we say that the sprint is success or failure? What is your thought?
Failure.
Success is not a success. It's not a success. It means out of 5 user stories, they have done 3 properly, 2 improper. So the goal is not achieved. Okay, fine. So they have done 3 completely done, 2 partially done. Now tell me from the management perspective, if 2 is partially done, can I give them another 4 days to complete?
No.
What is your thought?
No.
What is your thought? No, because this is called as a time box. This is called time box. What do you mean by time box? Within this 10 days, whatever you complete, that's it. If you cannot complete, the 2 items which you cannot complete will go back to the product backlog. So what will happen, Shriram, if it goes back to product backlog? If it goes back to product backlog, it will stay there. Now, as per the plan, we should have done with the 5 items, but we have done only 3. Now 2 is pending, not done, but 2 is 70% completed. Shriram, give me 2 more days, I'll complete. No, that will not win for you. It will go back to the product backlog. Now we have to plan for the next 10 days. Next 10 days. If this item, what you partially completed, is in the high priority for the product owner, then it may come in the sprint backlog again. Imagine I'm planning next sprint backlog. I may have 6 items now. Chances are it can come here. If that is not high priority, something else pending with the product owner, this will stay in the product backlog. Some other item will come. Now, this is the biggest difference in what we saw in 1990s and 2000. In 1990s and 2000, if some team cannot complete it, we'll expand it. Do you agree on this? This is how we have seen those days. We will expand the time. Here, they will not expand the time. They'll sharply cut here. I'm talking about good agile working environment. But unfortunately, many companies, they call themselves agile. When they can't complete these 2 items, the 2 items automatically comes to the sprint. How many of you say this is what happening? Is it what happening? If you're doing this, you are a mechanical person, like what I was doing in school days, standing in the prayer. You're also doing the same mistake. If you are really doing agile, it won't happen this way. It has to go to the backlog, and product owner has to decide, do we still need to do this work right now or do little later based on the economic value? What is the value of doing this works right now or do later? This guy has to evaluate it. Your team has to understand the pain of not doing it on time. Now, Shriram, what is the point of not doing it on time? The reason is you will do something here, which is called as, I'll recap again, don't worry. We'll do something here called as retrospective. Now you sit and talk what went well, what can be improved. You did 3 items, 2 items missed out. What's the reason? Maybe we didn't understand the requirement properly. Customer did not give the requirement properly. Technical challenges were there. COVID season, we could not go to offices. Server was down. Multiple reasons. But what? Why? Why you have to do that? When you do that, you learn something called lessons learned. These lessons learned could be 4 or 5 bullet points, which is needed when you do sprint planning for the next sprint. When you do sprint planning, this lessons learned should come here. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? If you bring that lessons learned here, it makes sense. But unfortunately, in the market, when I do agile coaching and talk to the team members, none of the team, when the second item is not, 2 items not completed, it is not going to the backlog. It's coming to the next sprint immediately. And in the retrospective, are they learning any lessons? No. Are they carrying the lessons to the planning? No. They just take this item, pull another 4 items, do the planning, mechanical, like what I do in the prayer in the school days. Same way they're standing every day. They're calling we are the agile company. Agile is very tough, yeah, hard to work. Why it's hard to work? Because you're not doing agile, being agile. It's tough, both way tough. Okay, apart from that, what is a failure? Okay, I'm talking some of the failures, some of success also there. I don't want to deny that. Some of the companies are doing good job, but many people call them as a Scrum Master who don't know what is Scrum. Unfortunate. But they all have Scrum certification, right? So now coming back here, one interesting thing which they don't do properly because of that agile fails. You know one other thing? I said about planning. I said about review. I said about retrospective. I said about stand-up. One thing I didn't explain to you. What is that? What is that? Grooming and refinement. If you don't do this properly, agile totally fails. Few minutes back, I showed a screen in a sprint for in a release, 1 iteration, next iteration, well planned. Rest all kept as empty box. Did I say that? Empty box. Did I say that? Now I call it as n+2. I said this. Now n+2 means I understood up to this. Now when you will sit and talk for these iterations, when you will sit and talk, Shriram, we will take annual leave. In this leave, we will go to Goa, Las Vegas. There we'll sit and talk. If you feel that time you won't get in your life. It will not happen. So Shriram, when you will do? In Agile, we don't do pre-planning. It means we don't sit and do anything here. We didn't do anything. Work already started. Now, where you will do the planning work? Where you will do requirement understanding? Where you will do? The place is called refinement and grooming. Where it will happen is in your current sprint, it will happen. In your current sprint should happen. Shriram, already only 10 days, man, very tight packed. You have to plan including that, your work. So when you pull here in sprint backlog, should not pull too many items. The reason is you have to spend 10% of your sprint time for grooming. I'll explain what is grooming. 10%. Can you tell me 10% means how many? How much of time? If it is 10 days, 10% means how much of time? 8 hours. 8 hours. Sorry, I'm going in hours. Sorry, what someone said here? 1 day.
1 day.
All right, you are right. One day, if it is a Norway or some other country, one day means 6 hours, I believe. So let's go by Indian standards or American standard, 8 hours. 8 hours. In 10 days, 8 hours, you have to utilize a time for upcoming sprints. Shriram, this is pathetic, man. First of all, I have to focus this work or upcoming work. You have to do both. That's why you are called knowledge workers. That's why you are highly paid. So now you have to sit and talk about upcoming work. What you will do? If it is 8 hours, divide into 2. 4 hours in this week, 4 hours in this week, or 2 hours here, 2 hours here, 2 hours here, 2 hours here. What you have to do is take the low priority items here, which is going to become a high priority in future. Bring that item in every week, sit and talk. What is the work? What is the elaboration of the dependency? Go detailed discussion. Will I get all the answer in the same day? No, but you will talk. The more you talk about what is happening here is your N+2 is getting keep on expanded. So refinement and grooming are very, very important in sprint. If this does not happen, you are total failure of Agile in the company. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Shriram, I have a quick question here, Chant.
Yeah.
Whose responsibility should be sprint grooming or refinement? Is it a product owner or Scrum Master?
Whole team.
Okay. Okay.
Without team, what you're going to do with the grooming? See, of course, what you're saying is who will drive the show? Drive the show can happen a combination of Scrum Master and product owner. But ideally, whole team should be there. You pick up the item, you sit and talk about what to be done, isn't it? Without that, see, product owner will come and tell that I want two-way authentication. Is that okay with the grooming? No. Team has to ask the question, what do you mean by two-way authentication? Is it through the OTP? Is it through some image processing? Is it QR processing? What to do? And the owner will explain something. The team will tell, this is very complicated. I can't do that. It's very tough. Can you split the story into 2 pieces? You don't go by this, go by that. They'll ask more questions. Dependency, acceptance, it all will happen. So team has to do that. And to your surprise, many companies, they don't do grooming at all. They think that product owner will sit and do grooming alone on his home separately. And they'll come back one day and give the work and we'll do the work. They give all the responsibility to the product owner. Product owner, it's your role, man. You sit and do whatever you want, come and tell me. That's not the way it has to work. By doing this only, we become being agile. When being agile is good, doing agile become interesting. The reason is, when you do this kind of grooming regularly every week, you try to see all the item in the backlog. It is not only high priority, low priority, not well elaborated, everything you get a clarity. Now you get a full responsibility of the product of American Express or SK.com. Now your team N+2, they know what has to be done next. When you know what going to come after 2 sprint, you can plan well right now. Your brain starts working on the dependency, risk, clarity. But unfortunately, many teams know only the 10 days. Like for the horse, they have it, right? Only 10 days. Beyond that, nothing they know. Problem starts happening. Bug starts coming up. This is a problem happening in the market. By the way, let's not go too much into the problem. A sprint work like this, where you have a start, where you have an end, and this is a time box. There is no hard rule. You have to follow only 2 weeks. It can be 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. But 4 is a decent time. Beyond that, it's going to become a very predictive way. So now, when you do this, you have to be very careful on planning. You should be very careful on review. Check it properly. And retrospective happens to see the process improvement. And refinement should happen regularly. Right? Hope you got it. Let me see some questions here also. All right. All right. In my experience, explanation of blocker takes time most of the time, and when there is on-site. Okay, got you. I think a lot of discussion on YouTube. Okay, great. Thanks for the good points here. By the way, here, what is seen here is, we are not trying to push the roles to some people, tell that you are the one who have to handle everything. It's a whole team effort. Sometimes Scrum Master is not in the office. What to do? Another member can take the role of Scrum Master. Nothing wrong in it. But the point here is, do we understand what we are doing? When we know what we have to do, what we are doing makes sensible. But somebody has to always guide you. Somebody always has to push you. You are still working in the command and control model. Better remove this agile. Better remove all the Jira board. Work in a predictive way what you did 15 years back. That's safe. Don't use the word agile and kill yourself and kill the industry. I tell to many companies, you're killing yourself. In the name of Agile, you're killing yourself. Rather, learn it properly, do it properly. Unfortunate, many people go for one certification called Scrum Master. Yes, very good certification. But they don't learn the broadness of Agile. They just come to some level of learning. They feel that every day if you do stand up, it's an Agile system. No. You have to go a little more deeper. You have to read the principles. You have to understand why they call us. Why they call us face-to-face interaction is important. Why they call us customer satisfaction is important. If you understand that, then chances are you may collaborate very well. But again, we are in the very good stage of Agile in the industry now. If I tell the story, what I said to you today, 10 years back, people look me as a nut and craze. Man, what are you blabbering here? But now at least people are listening because things are changing. In another 5 years, things will totally change. That to the new generation coming out of the college, they are learning pretty faster. They know Agile really well. They will learn faster than you and me. They will overtake us, possible. But for now, Agile is really good only when we have these systems are properly followed. If you don't do that, it will become a haphazard. I'll give a pass here. All right, let's listen some more questions, if any, then we'll go on. What I have next? Let me see what I have next. Okay, I have a question. Let's hit a question and then give a break here. Meantime, I'll see something in the chat. Somebody says, Scrum Master role looks like administrative for enabling. I don't like the word administrative. It is not a good word. Okay. Prashant says, can a term product manager and product owner be interchangeable? No, product manager is a little bigger than product owner. Okay. Answer says B. Which one of the following below question is not a use transportation? Okay. I think it's a very easy question, right? Okay. Then you did it. I think it's a very easy question. You did it, man. Check the product status from all the members of an Agile team. You don't do the status. If you do the status, then you're doing kind of chasing the people. It's not a good thing. All right, let's give a pass here. And what we have seen the last 2 days, first day and second day, we made a good kickstart of what is Agile. Also, we made a kickstart of what is PMI-ACP. I gave a hint in the beginning. PMI-ACP is a little bigger. They start talking about Agile at the broad level. They start talking about Scrum, Kanban, XP, Lean. I meant to go very deep inside. But I gave a clue about Agile means something about 4 values and 12 principles derived in the year 2001. We got some elaboration there. We saw something about what is a sprint, how the release plan look like, what does an iteration look like. Iteration or sprint, both are same. We also saw what is a Scrum Master, like a servant leader. We saw something about the product owner, who is a representative of the customer. We also saw the team, which could be size of 3 to 9 people. And Agile, sometimes Scrum books is their own definition. I won't tell it's wrong. It's right in their context. But let's learn something superset. Superset is Agile in the books what we learn. Also, I started telling something important about scaled Agile. Scaled Agile talks more about broad Agile factors. So anyone going for scaled Agile nowadays, they're learning PMI-ACP first, because you get an idea about Scrum, Kanban, XP, which is useful there as well. Right? That's a point. All right. Was it a good learning? You got some info? Raju is asking a question. Product and sprint planning, can it be synonymous of WBS? I don't want to put the WBS. If you want to map it, you can. But you cannot directly tell the WBS, Raju. Okay, right. People on the YouTube, did you got something? Okay, very good. Nice. So what we'll do is, we have another few more weeks to go for the classes. The class will get more depth as you move forward. I have to give some workshop, which will happen by next week. I'll give a sample project. I would expect you all to do some work in the class as a team. I'll divide this team into 2, and then we'll do some work on the project. There we talk about some Agile factors. And expectation for next few days. Please open up the book of Mike Griffith. Start reading the chapter 1 and chapter 2. Chapter 1 itself will consume a lot of time. Read that content. Time permits, open the book of Agile Practice Guide and start reading. If you read in PMP, Agile was a lightweight there. Now we are going Agile depth. So read with a more passion about what is Agile. Sometimes needed, browse some of the websites also you can read. But these 2 books are more than sufficient to clear the examination. All right. Thanks a lot. People come on the cam if you want to show your face. Let's see each other. Okay, great. Great. Good to see most of you. Good. We know what are you doing under the grass, man? Okay. Mutunjan, okay, Nagaprasad, bunch of people here. Rakesh, Deepika, what happened? Pretty dark there. I can see you. Pinky is there. Very good. Okay, Sunita. Okay, Chand is here. Nice. Nice to see you all. I know once in a while I have to see the people. If not, I feel that I'm talking to the wall, straight to the wall. There's a white wall behind me. Keep on talking to that. If I feel you people, I feel good. So now go back and keep up the writing habits. Open the book and start reading. Learn more about Agile. One thing what I want you to learn Agile is only a philosophy. Until you believe it, it won't work for you. You have to believe that Agile means helping people, satisfying the customer. If you believe that, things starts working, right? Good. Thanks all for being here. People who have questions, please stay around. Rest all people have a great week and great Sunday. We'll catch up by Saturday, right? Thanks and bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. People have questions.
Sriram, I have a question here. I'm just going to go back to that Scrum Master, Product Owner, these two roles, because even somebody asked in the class right now about who's responsible for the daily stand-up and even the planning and the grooming of the backlog. My understanding is really the product owner should be the person. Now, agility, I understand, but Scrum Master is just the facilitator, correct?
I don't know how to use the word just. Just is very...
mainly, I should say, I won't say just. My apologies, mainly.
It's a facilitation, it's not easy. For now, let us not too much worry about who will carry what. But one thing you have to understand is product owner is responsible for the business related activities. And a Scrum Master is responsible for making the team being agile.
Correct.
Once they get the idea of being agile, make them doing agile. Okay. So being agile and doing agile is a responsibility of Scrum Master. Whole business is responsibility of product owner. Results are responsibility of the team.
Okay. Now there is another thing here about the when you get a business, like the business owner, or they have their own product owner, they pass on the information of what needs to be done, say maybe to a consulting company. So does the consulting company also have a product owner? That proxy part which you explained, I missed on that. I just didn't.
I'll give you one more time. I took an example of American Express giving the business to Infosys.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Now American Express is the originating place. They have the business knowledge. Infosys is a service company. They will take the contract. They will do it. Now American Express will send their business owner or product owner from their company to Infosys to sit in the Infosys premises and work from there. This is one approach. Some of the companies don't do that. What they do is American Express product owner will sit in the American Express head office, will not travel anywhere. Whereas Infosys will recruit a business guy who has a banking knowledge. And the person from Infosys will every day talk with American Express product owner. Here, what is happening here is we are creating a proxy in Infosys. So my team in Infosys, no need to think about American Express guys. My team in Infosys always have a conversation with a business person who Infosys recruited and kept in their company. Right. And they turn into a proxy.
Okay. Okay. Because in my company, we follow the same thing. And that's where I was thinking with this proxy, why we're now adding more trouble to whatever there is. So, okay. But the business person being there in that consulting company's office, so they are attending they are not attending the retrospective though, are they?
They can attend needed basis, but very rarely, not needed all the time. Because if American Express guy want to attend this retrospective, the team lose the freedom.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Many places we don't recommend it, but sometimes if you have a good relationship gel with the product owner, yes, they can participate, because some of the problem could be related to product owner that can be discussed in the retrospective.
Right.
Need basis you can invite. Nobody says stop it. Need basis you can invite, but in the name of freedom for the team, sometimes we don't invite these guys. Because when the customer is not there, you talk openly. Right?
Exactly, because the consulting company that I deal with, they do not invite us as the product owners. That's why I was wondering where this is going.
Yeah, you would have asked a lot of questions in the first meeting. Then they stop this.
Technically, always, yes. Sorry about that, but yes.
Stop this person, man. Don't invite her.
Oh boy, no, it's better to get my concept straight, like, because the Scrum Master thing that I already did, the certification as well, there, the understanding was that the Scrum Master has a lot of facilitation role and making sure that the impediments are being dealt with. Yeah. So that was the major portion. So when somebody says, like, with the daily stand-up, whether they have to be there, what I understood was that they need not even be there. They are just to observe that things are moving. So if that was the case, then I said, why is the Scrum Master supposed to be responsible for conducting the daily Scrum?
See, to me, I don't want to go by event wise. I'll talk as a class progress, not today. If I want to put it at 10,000 feet high, I will tell that being agile, doing agile is a responsibility of Scrum Master. Okay. You have to make the team to being agile, educate them, motivate them, and tell them what's the importance of it. It could be product owner, it could be the development team. Both. Okay. Scrum Master has to educate being agile, doing agile. And anything on the business priority, economic value, product owner. Economic is product owner. You have to think about economics, money, time and money.
Absolutely, big time.
Team will focus only on results, efficient results. So when they focus on results, then this guy focus on economic and priority, and one person focus on being and doing, perfectly works.
Okay.
Then we'll talk about responsibility, who to do what event, stand up. This all we'll talk later. That comes later. Don't worry about it. I'll talk that later.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Won't bug you anymore. It's past you guys your bedtime.
Perfect. Right. Any more questions?
Yes. Shriram, this is Sudeep.
Yes, Sudeep.
Just a quick question. I think before I ask my question, if you allow me, I just want to talk a little bit about what Deepika was asking. I think she is from if I'm not wrong, she might be from the client side, the role that she's playing. I was from my side, I was from the consulting firm side. So I just wanted to put back my perspective, how we did it. When we were working in an agile team, the product owner was from the client side, and there was an independent Scrum Master that they hired in between. And we were from the consulting firm, we were the development team, like this is how our team structure was. And it was working fine. It worked really fine. Obviously, one thing that the reason I think why I wanted to do this SAP is every company, they have to do a little bit tailoring to their requirement. I feel like nobody, I think, can do 100% agile. I feel like this is my experience. Sometimes they have to tailor it a little bit based on their requirements, and sometimes a little bit differences. But more or less, I think the Scrum Master who was hired for that particular role, she was perfect in educating the product owner, because like we all know, being agile is the first step, right? So even the client side, they were not very much familiar like how these things will work, but they really saw the benefit after the 6 months of iterations and the first release.
There is nothing called, to answer you, nothing called 100% agile. Okay.
Right.
Until it works well for your team, it's good. See, in sports, if you watch out, some team well planned will fail in the finals. Your team haphazardly come and win the game. After the team won the game, they'll ask you what is the strategy, and then the captain will tell we thought about this. Then we'll understand, wow, that's a strategy, man. So there is no hard rule. This is the way to be done. But these books are telling these are some standards will help you.
Yes, best practices. Yeah. And the question that I had, I'm sorry. So my question is, when I look at Mike Griffith's book where he talks about all these agile methods, we just started with Scrum today, but then when we're looking at all the other one like XP, Lean, Kanban, I see every method has say 3 principles, 5 or 6 concepts, core concepts, values. My question is, I mean, you might say, my question is, do we really have to, it's a bad way of saying memorize these concepts, You might say just remember it, but sometimes when I see some of the mock questions, it asks a little bit about these specific core values. Since they are a little bit like, kind of same, as we know that two of the values are actually same between XP and Scrum, I think, like courage and respect, I believe. So my main question is, do we really have to remember all of them for the exam, or just going like high level?
In the perspective of the exam, you no need to remember, because there won't be not even one question asking this. Then Sriram, why you have in the mock exam? The mock exam is to make you learn. Only when we do this kind of questions, you try to tend to read. In main exam, it will be only situations. This is a situation we try to understand. Do you understood the value? There is one of the value of Scrum says courage. Courage based, there will be some question. They will not use the word courage there. They'll use some small story there. And they try to see, do you understand there is something called courage as a value for a Scrum?
Okay.
For that reason, you should know there is something called courage there. So what I request you is read all the values of Scrum very well. Read all the things about XP properly. Read Kanban, read Lean. These 4 things you have to read. It will take little time, but worth the reading. Not only for the exam, going forward, any project management, these 4 will be there. Rest all, just see that and leave it. Nothing to worry.
Okay.
So Scrum, XP, Kanban, Lean, these 4. Because one or other day, you all will go for scaled agile. When you go for scaled agile literally follows these 4. Scrum, XP, Kanban, and Lean. When your company says you want to go scaled agile, you can boldly tell, I know all this 4. When you put all this thing 4 together, it's called scaled agile. You'll be easy to do that.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Good. All right. Any more questions? Let me see from YouTube. Anyone have a question? Okay. Shweta is putting a question. In this example, is a proxy role called as business analyst? Good question, Shweta. Many companies, what they are doing is they are not recruiting a person from outside world. I was giving an example between Infosys and American Express. I think Shweta is pulling that example. In that, I was giving an example. Infosys will have a business analyst in their corporate. This business analyst off late are turning into a product owner. I don't want to use off late, last 5-6 years, that's what's happening. So somebody who has a business knowledge in your company can be also called as a product owner or a proxy product owner, because they have the ability of defining the economic value. They have the ability of defining the proper user story along with the team. So to answer your question, yes, many a place I see business analysts pick up this role. Okay, that's good.
Yes, Shri, I was just going to add the same thing. Just give me a minute. I'm just going to relate the same thing which you said with American Express, and Sudeep raised the point. Yes, we have one project where currently we are working where we have Scrum Master from client side, business analyst from the client side. We have one business owner from the client side. We have one product owner at our end who is converting all those required for the development team. So this was the perfect example which you gave for an American Express. It was good. Yeah.
It depends on the budget, what we derive. See, some companies say that I cannot afford another business analyst. If I do that, my budget will hit. They will tell that whatever your product owner can convey, let them convey, will do the work. It purely depends sometimes on the budget, on the time zones and distance. If time zones is totally varying, somebody working in a mountain time or a Pacific time and somebody working in another time, now what will happen is the time gap is very high. I don't want my team to wait 8 hours to understand something about the business. My work will get spoiled. Rather, if I have a proxy in my place, which can charge me per day, let's say $25, I'm fine to bear it. If I invite a product owner from American Express from US or Canada, per hour, it is going to be $150 or $180. Very expensive. $180 per hour if I want to pay, then I'll worry whether I have to do that. Rather, I'll tell them, you handle multiple projects, but stay in American Express. You convey the message to the person in Infosys sitting in India who charged me $25 per hour. Sriram, why are you going to the money value? End of day, there only it comes. Right. All the story comes and ends there, telling that what is the value. So can I add more people? If lesser dollar, they'll put more people inside the place. That's also possible.
Agree.
All right. So now Mrityunjay is putting a question. Scrum Master from client side. When I say client, do you mean, let's take our example, American Express having a Scrum Master. Is that so? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. The question is asking, can we have that? Let me put the question back to the team here. Do you think American Express can have a Scrum Master to run the project?
Nowadays, it's happening that we have a Scrum Master from the customer side also. I'm seeing this in my current project.
Right.
And Shriram, going back to your point about the budget also, right? So it all depends on the budget also, because if they want to save some budget, they can, and everybody is getting educated in Agile. So even the product company, like in this case, American Express, they might also have a team who understands Agile.
Why not?
So,
why not?
Exactly. So they can have their own Scrum Master.
Perfectly said. So Mrityunjay, to answer your question, it's possible. Like what Sudeep is saying, education is there all the side and budgeting also. And imagine there are efficiency very high in American Express. They have a good Scrum Masters team already. They take the charge. But since they come from the client side, you cannot chase the people to do the work. Scrum Master, always a Scrum Master. You be there or you be here. You have to do being Agile, doing Agile. If you're honest on that, it works anywhere. And again, come back to the budget. It is good for American Express to spend money. Happy, because they're going to spend money from their pocket, which is going to be pretty heavy. If they give us a contract to somebody else, they give a whole budget of $2 million, make the work happen. In $2 million, you have 2 Scrum Master, 3 Scrum Master, 1 Scrum Master, up to you. I don't bother. 2 million over. So it's all money, time zone, and your ability. Hope it helps you. All right. Great. I think we're top of the time. We're in fact half an hour above the time. Okay. Any critical question?
Just one question, Shri. Just wanted to know when actually the industry started working on Scrum, because I see a lot of people saying that I have 15 years of experience on Scrum or working 20 years, and there's a lot of people giving trainings around, and I do have limited experience on Scrum. But
the Scrum is there. It's there for a long time. It's in fact in 1995, 96, it's picked up heavily. I mean, it started using in 2000, it got good boom. 2005 started. I started hearing in 2010 timeline. It's almost 11 years. But if you ask me, when you got good expert means hardly last 5 years. First 5 years, I saw one of the methodology. That's it. I don't feel it's a great thing. Last 5 years, I got it. If somebody really have 20 years, super good. You met a right person in the world. So they may be the people who are the beginners of what it is. Possible. It's there from 1995, 96, right? Very highly possible. If they may be the front runner who were part of defining that, part of being that Agile principles, they may be the people. So we cannot just comment they are bad.
Apart from that, in IT industry, like Scrum Guide was, when I read the Scrum Guide, they say they have drafted the first version in 2010. So before that, whether it was there,
it's there. For example, November 2020, they released one more drafted edition. The drafted edition is different. They have that framework already available. Giving it as a document could be some years. In a November 2021 or 2020?
2020 was the last Scrum Guide.
2020 November, there one new edition came in. Nothing, but they'll add a little bit here and there. It's hardly 14 pages document. What is that to add? 14 or 15 pages document, here and there they'll add something. They'll explain what is product owner, Scrum Master. Scrum is hardly 14 pages. In this 4 pages will go in index, rest all will be the content. Nothing big in Scrum. Scrum is there for a long time, but the documentation happens very few years once. They touch base a little bit, corrections they will do. That's it. Okay.
So in IT industry, when people have started working in 2005, 2000, or how it is?
IT is there from 1950s and 60s. When our father are in a government office, there was IT is there. Don't think IT is new. IT is for a long time. Since because Y2K came in, we start getting a lot of boom in India. We started talking about it. So Scrum is there in many years, a long time. In the year 2000 itself, it's picked up, and many companies didn't use it. Only few were using. We don't have an exact year. It is not a COVID medicine to tell when they start injecting. It is something like a process in place. Whichever company like, they started following it. But high boom started from 2011, 2012. That's the time the boom started.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. Great. Very good. All right, great. Hey, thanks a lot for everyone being here for the first week. First week is an interesting week. Thanks to people for the YouTube and people watching the LinkedIn. Thanks all. And today we get the last 2 days we had a good kickstart. Now keep up your writing habits. Get the study plan. Start preparing accordingly. Next week we'll start deep dive into more into Scrum, XP, Kanban. We'll do the stuff, and then we'll go to the value delivery of second chapter. For now, keep up the progress and keep posting your writing habits in the WhatsApp group. See you all. Thanks for being here. Catch you by next Saturday.
One last question. We have mock-up exams 3:30, right? Is it for specific period of time, or is a link is available for a whole day?
Sorry, missed your last line.
Yeah, that mock-up test link is open for a particular specific period of time, or it's available?
It's open. Anytime you can write it.
Okay, thanks.
Right. So there are some people different time zone. They can't write that time. They'll do a little later. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Have a great day. Catch you next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Thank you.